absolutely pounding down with rain. The wind's ripping across the ground. Yeovil will be well up for this.
Yeah, it's a very typical wet November afternoon. But yeah, as you say, the pitch held up very well. It looks absolutely pristine, to be honest, given the weather conditions. So we should be in for a top game this afternoon. Yeovil, they've made 3 changes from the side which lost a week ago, with Charlie Cooper coming in, Michael Smith coming in, and Morgan Williams replacing Jake Wannell, who is suspended. So we'll go through this very shortly, but yeah, 3 changes for Yeovil this afternoon. Look to get their campaign back on track after what happened a week ago. City get us underway then, kicking off from right to left as we look, and they immediately play the ball straight down toward the Yeovil penalty area, and battling for it in the corner is Alex Whittle, who's fighting and clears the ball out to play. It'll be a throw into York. So York in their red shirts, their home shirts of red shirts, sort of dark blue shorts and white socks, as I say, kicking from right to left. Yeovil in their all green strip, kicking from left to right as we look, and it's a throw into York City over on the far side, the right hand side, as they look to attack, and it's Adjaboy whipping the ball across the 6-yard box. Good important intervention there, I think it was by Cousin Dawson, who stretched out a leg to stop that ball coming across the 6-yard box. He's out of play for a throw in on the far side, Ian.
Yeah, I mean, we expected a quick York start, and we've got it. My goodness me, they've come out the traps really, really quickly. A lot of possession. We wondered if it was more of a back 5 for Yeovil. James Plant is pretty much playing as a left wing back, with Alex Whittle playing in the middle as well. So yeah, that pretty much, hopefully, from a Yeovil point of view, soak the pressure up. 1 minute into the game, and then see where it gets you later on. No rush from Yeovil Town point of view. Free hit here this afternoon, Chris.
York playing the ball forwards as Cousin Dawson again wins the header, and now Yeovil can get their foot on the ball for the first time or so in the opening 90 seconds, but pass is overrun, and York have it on the near side with Adam Crooks making his first start of the afternoon for York. So that gives me a chance to run through the Yeovil team. Then it's Ollie Wright in goal. Now, Cooper said pre-match it's 3 at the back. We're not so sure. As we say, we think it's 5 at the back here, with Michael Smith, Finn Cousin Dawson, Morgan Williams, Alex Whittle, and we think James Plant playing as a left wing back. You'll have Charlie Cooper and Brett McGavin in central midfield, with Pedro Borges, Shaw and Aaron Jarvis. For York, they've made 4 changes this afternoon, with Adam Crooks, Marvin Armstrong, Ricky Aguiar and Tyree Sinclair coming in. Cameron John, Dan Batty, Fleet, Nathaniel George and Deepo Akeyemi drop out of the starting 11, with those latter 3 all on the bench. Yeovil substitutes Matt Gould, Frank Blair, Sonny Blulow Everton, Dylan Morgan, Josh Sims, Harvey Greenslade and Dom Bernard, as York attack down the right hand side, midway inside the Yeovil half, with Adjaboy, who's seen plenty of possession in the opening couple of minutes in the opening exchanges. Plays the ball back to Malachi Fagan-Walcott. And now it's out on the right hand side. Yeovil battling to win the ball back though. Plant did well. It's gone out to play over on the far side, throwing to York, short of the halfway line down the right hand side. And already, Ian, we can see that Yeovil is going to settle down with a lot of possession for York. Yeah,
Mark Cooper said how much of a good footballing side York are, and we've already been proven to that already 2 minutes into the game. I've just been looking at Tyree Sinclair, and Michael Smith's got a hell of a game on his hands here this afternoon, because Tyree Sinclair in form is probably one of the best players in the National League, and Michael Smith of course coming back from injury as well, so he may be a bit rusty, but Mark Cooper wouldn't put him in if he didn't believe in him.
And immediately the ball goes out, just as you were saying that, looking for Sinclair. Smith did well to cut that ball out as Kofi Shaw tries to bring it forward for Yeovil. He wins a throw in on the near side for the near side, and will be on the halfway line. Smith will take it as he prepares to throw the ball back in play. Mark Cooper stood with his hood up. The rain is pounding down. Cooper has, like I say, he has got plenty of links up here in the northeast. Of course, former manager of Darlington. So he spent time as a player with Hartlepool. So yeah, he's got plenty of spells up here in the northeast and the North Yorkshire area. So back on familiar territory for the Yeovil manager. And Wayside in possession. Whittle playing it back to Morgan Williams, back in the starting 11, as Yeovil just try and build a little bit of possession, build a bit of confidence on the ball. 4 minutes gone, 0-0. BBC Radio Somerset 95.5 FM. BBC Sound and Freeview Channel 714. Jarvis wins a header, but he's given it away, and it's with Alex Hunt playing it infield to Aguiar, and York back in possession through Howe, and now Crooks on the near side to Marvin Armstrong, who's going to try and drift infield. He plays it through the centre circle to Megan Walcott, who's been pressured now by Kofi Shaw going towards him. And now with Sinclair on the near side. As I said, familiar pattern coming to this game here. York are going to have an awful lot of possession. Might be a pretty defensive afternoon for Yeovil, but their tactic will be try and hit them on the counter. Yeah,
and they've tried that a couple of times already, Chris, and 2 occasions Aaron Jarvis hasn't quite held it up as much as he can and as much as they need it. If Yeovil are to play the way they've started this afternoon, they need Aaron Jarvis to really hold that ball up, and it's good to see Kofi Shaw near enough playing right alongside Aaron Jarvis as well. I mean, I'm trying to guess both teams' formation, Chris, and they are both all over the place.
It's very, very fluid, I think would be what we would say diplomatically. A nightmare for a commentator. Yeovil in possession with Morgan Williams in his own final third. They try and work it to the left-hand side, and Plant tries to burst forward. Now Shaw, and the referee has pulled play back for a foul on James Plant. So it'll be a free kick to Yeovil, 10 yards inside their own half, just in from the left touchline.
Yeah, I think 5.5 minutes gone. I think the first couple of minutes Yeovil were really up against it, but now Yeovil have got some good control in this game. This is a tricky place to come, York, especially the form that they're in. We mustn't forget how good of a team they are, and the table never lies. Yeovil themselves find themselves in 8th, so it's going to be a good one, Chris, for sure.
Yeovil with a throw-in down the right-hand side, midway to the York half. It'll be Michael Smith who will take it. He's got no one around giving an option at the moment. Now he throws it in, looking for Pedro Borges, who's down by the corner flag, blocked by Hunt, and it'll be a corner kick to Yeovil. Just work their way up, making a little bit of progress. 0-0, 6 minutes gone. And Yeovil have the first corner of the game this afternoon, and across to take it is Brett McGavin. Bit of up from the back. You can see Williams going in there, unsurprisingly. Cousin Dawson is in there too. And it'll be McGavin who'll take it right-footed out, swinging. Ball's coming in towards the back post, and Williams was in there jumping. It's come out as far as Plant, left edge of the penalty area, right-footed ball in towards the penalty spot, and Williams trying to lever a header towards goal, can quite get his head fully over it, and it drops wide of the right-hand post for Atlas Mill in the York goal.
Yeah, Yeovil will be disappointed with that. That was a really good corner in by Brett McGavin, and it just skimmed Morgan Williams' head. James Plant got the possession back straight away, played it in, and Morgan Williams should have at least gone in for the target there, Chris. It's good by Yeovil, it's controlled. We know Mark Cooper has a certain style of football, and it's great.
York win possession though, and the ball's sprayed by Aguiar out to Ajiboy right hand side. This looks dangerous for York, level with the edge of the penalty area. Ajiboy get back, good little run back by Pearce. Pearce has it, he's been forced away from goal by Williams, who did very well there actually. Good positioning from Morgan Williams just to nudge and force Pearce out away from goal, but York attack again. Surging forward is Hunt. Ajiboy on the right hand side, trying to whip the ball into the penalty area. Whittle blocks it, it's out for a throw in on the far side.
Yeah, this is a great game to commentate on already, 7.5 minutes in. I mean, Yeovil are holding their ground. You might be able to hear at home the crowd getting excited, but what Yeovil are doing is keeping to their shape, keeping to their formation. But Yeovil are just letting runners through far too easily for me at the minute, Chris.
Malachi Fagan Walcott whips across in towards the back post. Tyree Sinclair was there at the back post, but couldn't get a control on it, and it runs all the way through. It'll be throwing to Yeovil, but yeah, and in particular they seem to be attacking down the right hand side, really focusing down there. They've got Felix getting forward from right back, and David Ajiboy as well. Lots of pace, so it'll be a busy afternoon for Plant and Alex Whittle. Yeah, which makes it more like Yeovil back 5 when York are attacking, because Plant has to sit in and help Whittle, because otherwise Whittle was 2 versus 1 all the time. Williams wins a header, it only comes as far as Aguiar. Pearce takes it down, Pearce trying to thread the ball through there for Ajiboy, but Yeovil intercepts and McGavin spins them away from trouble, and now Whittle can maybe build something from the back, midway inside their own half. Whittle has it again, a former York City player of course, Alex Whittle. He's had a couple of spells at York, one in between 2016 and 2018, and then a part of 2023 as well, he was there. And Yeovil continue to build through Alex Whittle, still inside their own half. In Cousin Dawson. Dawson's been caught on it. He then drags his man down. Now we'll have to see what the referee does here. But Finn Cousin-Dawson could be in a lot of trouble for Yeovil. He got caught on the ball and he has been sent off. Finn Dawson dragging his man down as he lost the ball. It was Tyree Sinclair who was about to get clear. Denial of a goal-scoring opportunity and disaster for Yeovil. 9 minutes in, they've been reduced to 10 men.
Absolutely ridiculous by Finn Cousin-Dawson. Yeovil Town playing it around the back far too much. They're not good enough to keep playing it around the back. It's wet, it's slippery. What do they expect to do? Next thing you know, Finn Cousin-Dawson's lost the ball right on the edge of the box. He has no choice but to pull the player down. He pulls the player down. Was it a red card? I'm not too sure about if it was a red card or not, Chris. There were players around him. I guess it was for denying a goal-scoring opportunity. But what are you doing, Finn Cousin-Dawson?
So it's a free kick to York City on the right on the edge of the penalty area. It's inside the D. It's about a pace or two left of centre, but what was already a very difficult task this afternoon has just got so much harder now, being reduced to 10 men for the next 80 minutes of this match. Yeovil still very unhappy. They are they're imploring with the referee, Oliver Mackey. Oliver Mackey has marched them right back. I think the Yeovil wall actually doesn't think they've gone too far back. I think they think they're not 10 yards, they're a bit further than that. But the referee has drawn the line, and that is where the free kick will be taken from. And of course, longer term as well, with Jake Wannell already suspended the next 3 matches. There's another defender who's got Morgan Williams has only just come back from suspension. So Yeovil having trouble getting settled in defence. But we'll talk about that a little bit more in the next few moments as we just see through this free kick. Really dangerous moment for Yeovil. It'll be taken by Pearce, who bends it low and it's into the bottom corner. And Ollie Pearce has scored for York City. Free kick. He hit it underneath the wall into the bottom right-hand corner, and York City have taken the lead. It's York 1, Yeovil 0.
What a disastrous 2 minutes for Yeovil Town. What are they playing at here at York City? One of the hardest places to come to. You've got a man sent off. You've made a wall. Yeovil Town made a wall. The wall jumped and Ollie Pearce has just slotted it right in the bottom right-hand corner. Goodness me, Chris, I don't know what's going on Yeovil Town, but rightly so, those fans in the corner are absolutely fuming. I cannot believe Yeovil are still playing that ball around the back.
Yeah, the disastrous couple of minutes for Yeovil Town, having Finn Cousin-Dawson sent off, and now Ollie Pearce just giving them the lead. Ollie Pearce's 12th goal of the season for York City. He's in fine form, but all of a sudden Yeovil, they've got a really difficult task on their hands now as they look to try and somehow get themselves back in this game. But a real sucker punch this afternoon. York 1, Yeovil 0. Yeovil in possession as they try and get back on some sort of terms, try and settle themselves down after a couple of minutes of madness. Michael Smith in possession. Now the ball's come all the way back to right in the Yeovil goal, and he'll just take a few seconds to pause and stride forward before clearing the ball away. Pedro Borges is calling for it out on the right hand side. It said it's gone short, and also now of course there'll have to be a little reshuffle in defence as well because of with Finn Cousin-Dawson not being there. So it looks like certainly Morgan Williams will continue to play in the centre there, but Michael Smith might have to be dragged further in, and so too will Alex Whittle. More of a 3, I think. Yeah, I think what's going to happen is I think we're going to see Don Bernard come on in a minute, and I think Don Bernard's going to play as what is now Yeovil's 4th and only centre back. Yeovil have got no more reinforcements at the back. I find this absolutely extraordinary. As you quite rightly said, Chris, Jake Wannell suspended 4 games. Now Alex Whittle gets sent off within 10 minutes. Yeah, so there'll be 2 suspensions, as I say, Cousin-Dawson and Jake Wannell. We will have to see in future games. But there's a match to continue at the moment as a ball's played forward by Adam Crooks down the left-hand side. Sprinting across is Pearce. He prevents it from going out for a goal kick. Instead, side-putting it out to play for a throw-in to Yeovil Town down by the corner flag. And we are seeing, we did see Don Bernard being ready as Mark Cooper looking furious down there in the touchline. Furious and drenched as well. It's not a great combination at the moment. So throw into Yeovil, down by their own corner flag, on the near side, the Yeovil right. 1-0, York lead, 13 and a half minutes gone. Down the right touchline as Kofi Shaw battles to keep the ball in play, didn't manage to, and it'll be a throw into York City now, which Adam Crooks takes very quickly. And I think another upshot of what's just gone on there is that now all of a sudden York will absolutely dominate possession. They already were, but it becomes so much harder when you've got one less man to get a foothold on the ball.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what it does leave is it leaves Yeovil with almost an impossible task here at York City. If Yeovil commit too many men forward, York are so good they're going to catch him on the counter-attack so quickly. I must say, it is an actual delight to watch Ollie Pearce. Ollie Pearce's movement for York is absolutely outstanding. He literally is just floating around the pitch at the moment, and Yeovil don't know when to pick him up.
York in possession, deep inside their own half. It's with Joe Felix, the right back, who's just drifting in field a little bit now, and forward comes Crooks up over the halfway line, 5 yards in from the near left touchline, the York left as we look at it. And now it's Aguiar, and he's got good running ahead from Crooks. Marvin Armstrong making the run in behind there, and now hits back with Aguiar. Tyree Sinclair is calling for it. Instead it's with Armstrong on the left hand side, level with the edge of the penalty area. Now they work it in field, and Felix plays it across to Fagan Walcott. He's got Ajiboy on his right hand side. Fagan Walcott continuing, now uses Ajiboy, and the ball come back to Felix as Yeovil get every man behind the ball to try and block out York City. Yeovil trailing York by a goal to nil. It's with Crooks on the halfway line. Now out to the left hand side, and Sinclair on the near touchline, level with the edge of the penalty area, drifts in field, now trying to play the ball into Hunt, who tried to spin on the ball, tried to get clear but just couldn't quite control it, and Yeovil back in possession. Although I say back in possession, they've given it away, and it's with Tyree Sinclair now. Sinclair, he's fighting with Pedro Borges and runs it out of play, throw into Yeovil, and we will see that change now. Don Bernard coming on.
Yeah, looks like one of the youngsters. It looks like Pedro Borges is going to have to be substituted. Unfortunately, the afternoon's well and truly over for that young man. No fault of his own. He's just coming off to Don Bernard go back to the normal position of having Don Bernard in the centre and then Michael Smith on the right hand side, I'd imagine.
Yeah, so this very much reinforces in defence. We'll see what the reshuffle will be, but it looks like it'll have to be Kofi Shaw just playing off Aaron Jarvis, and then the midfield is probably as it was beyond that, and it will just be kind of a 4-3-2, I guess, which might end up being fluid, but obviously a lot more work to be done by the defence. Here's Jarvis for Yeovil, battling inside his own half. It's gone back to McGavin, and now with Whittle out on the left hand side. Whittle trying to get up over the halfway line, where he's fouled by Ajiboy, and it'll be a free kick to Yeovil. And the important thing now is for their heads not to go down either. They've got to keep going, even as difficult as the afternoon might be. This is a real, they can see this as a challenge as well, to really dig in.
Yeah, it is a challenge, but it's one that this Yeovil team are not afraid of. This Yeovil team have got a lot of character and a lot of grit in amongst them, Chris. They've beat to some big grounds already this season.
As Kofi Shaw tries to pull the ball down the right-hand touchline for Yeovil, the ball's gone out of play. But throw in to Mark Cooper. Clyde Cooper out on the touchline again, barking orders. It's Morgan Williams. As Smith prepares to take this throw in midway inside the York half. It's with Jarvis trying to hold the ball up, and he's done well there to get the ball back to Smith. Under pressure from Crooks. Shaw is now getting boxed in down by the corner flag, and it's out to play for a throw in to York this time, and Yeovil struggling to make any sort of penetration through the York defence. 18 minutes gone.
Yeah, they're struggling, but they're giving it a good go currently. There's not really much emphasis really going forward for Yeovil because they're a man down, and as good as Aaron Jarvis is, he does need support.
Ball given away by York as Michael Smith comes in, trying perhaps a rather speculative effort, trying the spectacular volley from about 30 yards out, and from a rather difficult angle as well, rather narrow angle. He was going for it, and it sails high into the stand behind the goal of Harrison Mill, and it'll be another goal kick. So 1-0 York lead, but rather speculative effort.
Yeah, I mean, why not shoot? Why not go for it? If it goes in, it's goal of the season. If it doesn't go in, it goes out the ground like that one just did. Yeah, the ball was going to have trouble retrieving that one. But yeah, Yeovil just got to remain focused. They've had a change in shape. Mark Cooper's got his instructions on to his team. Very much a 4-3-2 now from Yeovil. Obviously missing the one man because Cousin Dawson's been sent off. But the change in shape, we'll see how this settles down. But Yeovil will be happy for York to have possession in their own half, which is what they're currently doing. I'm sure York will very much like to tie Yeovil down.
And they attacking down the right-hand side at the moment is with Felix. He works the ball back to Fagan Walcott, and now Hunt can spray a diagonal ball out to the near side, the left with Tyree Sinclair. He's coming in the field on his right foot, plays it on to Hunt again, and now to Sinclair, but they're giving the ball away, and perhaps Yeovil can trust something with McGavin turning, forced to go backwards though, and it's with Smith now out on the near side, the Yeovil right, Yeovil perhaps green kit, all green kit, kicking from left to right, and the ball's passed, forced it out to play by Smith. It'll be a throw into York. Good strength being shown by Adam Crooks on his first start for York of the season.
At times we must remember that Kofi Shaw's only 17 years of age, and at times it does show that he's just quite not strong enough, bless him. But I'm sure that stress will come. What Kofi Shaw does have is raw speed and pace, and I think that's why Mark Cooper's kept him on the pitch alongside Aaron Jarvis. On the counter-attack, they're dangerous. Yeovil just got to get themselves in that position first.
It seems much like James Plant is pushing forward a little bit more now. I think he might be just the more natural width down the left-hand side, just to offer a bit more support to Jarvis now that Borges has been withdrawn. So you're still in possession. It's with Callum Howe, 20 minutes gone. On the right-hand side, Howe starting today. There was a little bit of a doubt over him, but he's also come an injury, so he'll continue to play. And the ball now comes out to the right-hand side, and Sinclair running on ahead was Aguiar, but the ball comes back. There's a little few frustration from the York supporters around us as York go backwards rather than forwards, but York still in possession, 10 yards inside the Yeovil half. It's with Howe now back inside the centre circle, and he plays it to the right hand side as Fagan Walcott looks to take it forward, and he finds Felix on the edge of the area, laying it off to Adjiboy. Adjiboy is fouled right on the edge of the area. No, he isn't, says the referee. He did go down, but no free kick, says Oliver Mackey, and York have it back. It's with Sinclair on the left-hand side, level with the edge of the penalty area. A couple of step-overs, now getting to the byline. Left-footed cross across the 6-yard box. Diving out for it was right, he didn't touch anyone, and it runs out of play for a throw-in on the far side to York City, in fact.
Yeah, very, very dangerous there from Yeovil Town point because the ball was whipped in. Even worse news for Yeovil is that Alex Whittle's currently down. Let's hope that, Alex Whittle's going to get back up. That's more than all right. We don't need another defender going off the pitch, that's for sure. But yeah, somehow it's managed to go out for a York City throw-in as their manager Andy down below us tells him his team he wants them to get the ball quicker, faster, which I'm not surprised.
Adam Hinshelwood, the York City manager, wearing a red cap this afternoon, and big black winter overcoat and white trainers, just stood inside the technical area enjoying a good season, just 2 feet in the league for York City. He took over in February of this year, replacing Neil Ardley, and all going rather well. He had a very good spell at Worthing as well. He was there for 7 years before moving much further north. Here's Sinclair for York, trying to get past Smith, and he might well have beaten him for pace here. Good sliding challenge though by Charlie Cooper, sliding in to put the ball out of play for a throw-in to York on the near side.
Yeah, Michael Smith showing his age a bit there, unfortunately. I mentioned it pre-match that Tyree Sinclair on his game, one of the best players in the National League, and he's just starting to turn the gears now. He's just starting to go through the motions, and Charlie Cooper having to double up as a right back.
It actually went out for a corner, went right out by the corner flag, and it's been a corner which is whipped in towards the near post, headed away by Yeovil, but it comes out as far as Adjiboy, and now it's with Hunt. He's got it back to Felix inside the centre circle. Good pressing there by Kofi Shaw to force York back, but they retain possession, and it's now out on the right hand side with Felix, who gets it back in field. Hunt, who's dictating play this afternoon, out to Adjiboy, who seems to come out to the near left side this time. Adjiboy looking to add some pace and attack Smith, plays it into Sinclair. Good challenge again by Charlie Cooper, and it's out for another corner, but last ditch defending by Yeovil.
Yeah, very much lastditch.com for Yeovil Town at the minute. It's all one-way traffic, as you'd expect. York are playing some really, really nice football, it does have to be said, but it's just far too easy from a Yeovil Town point of view. Yeovil Town players are just backing off, and then the next thing you know, the York players in the box. Danger.
So it'll be a corner again on the near side. Ricky Aguiar will take it. It'll be right-footed. It'll be in-swinging. They've got plenty of players up from the back, including Callum Howe. Ball whips it towards the 6-yard box. It's spilt off the knees of Wright. And it's unfortunately for the Yeovil Town goalkeeper, the ball spins behind and the York player was around to tap it into an empty net.
Yeah, Ollie Wright's been fantastic this season, but he won't want to see that one back again. Completely spooned that and nearly went in his own goal.
Yeah, the ball came in, he just misjudged it and it span off his knee. Second corner comes in, this time in towards the penalty spot area, and York have been penalised for a foul there by Hunt, and it'll be a free kick to Yeovil, so a chance for a little bit of respite. 1-0 York City lead, 24 minutes gone. BBC Radio Somerset, 95.5 FM. Thank you for joining us, also on BBC Sounds at Freeview channel 714. Free kick to be taken by Wright. Left-footed, the ball spins high up over the halfway line. The ball is going headed on. Oh, a horrible mistake by the York keeper, and racing in behind it was Plant, I think, racing in. He's gone down. And what I think has Plant been booked for diving?
Yeah, I think
Plant is still down. Certainly nothing has gone. The referee hasn't awarded anything Yeovil's way. Plant goes through. He stayed down. The referee has brandished the yellow card, and I think he's blanked James Plant for diving.
I mean, that's a very close call by the referee. In fairness to him, he was right close to it. James Plant just seemed to... Well, the York seemed to play the ball back, and the goalie was a little bit slow coming off of his line. The next thing you know, James Plant was in, but James Plant hit it around the goalie, and he looked to have been taken down, but yeah, it's probably the correct decision by the referee, I'd say.
Well,
the Yeovil bench didn't think so.
Yeah, they weren't happy. All the Yeovil coaching staff, including Mark Cooper, were up on the touchline, so they weren't happy with that at all. But instead, it was a free kick to York, who come again with Sinclair on the left-hand side up against Smith. He checks back in, looking to beat him for pay on the outside. Now works it back to Crooks, still down the left-hand side, just on the touchline, level with the penalty area. It's with Sinclair, faced by Smith. Right-footed pass infield now to Aguiar, who works it centrally to Felix, who's starting to dictate play as well for York. The ball comes out to the right-hand side. Adjiboy over on the far side, up against Plant and Whittle, and Yeovil pair did well to see him off, but York still in possession. Fagan Walcott, and now Felix again trying to dig the ball over the top. Header away by Williams. York once again get the ball back, and this is going to be a familiar point as Adam Hinchelwood barks orders at his team, telling him to bring it into the near side, and now it's Aguiar. Crooks left hand for York, kicking from right to left in this first half, leading by 4-0. Ball now going across the middle of the Yeovil half. Yeovil camped inside their final third, trying to make it difficult for York to play through. Hunt lines up a shot, gets one away, and it's just wide of the right hand post. Wright was diving, he wouldn't have got anywhere near it, and it got just wide of the post, behind for a goal kick, but another good opportunity for York there.
Another good opportunity. The whole of the Yeovil team was pretty much back on the edge of the box, and somehow York still managed to get a free kick away. Mark Cooper's trying to get his instructions clear to his team, but it's just not happening for Yeovil at the minute. They're just sitting back, they're just sitting, and they're letting York City come onto them. They're letting them come onto them far too easy, though. There's no real grit and fight in this Yeovil team so far this afternoon, which is very, very rare, it must have to be said. This Yeovil team are full of warriors, but at the minute they're not really showing anything.
80 minutes to go till half-time. Ball played forward looking for Aaron Jarvis, but it's gone over and above him, and that is another knock-on, obviously, with the sending off. The fact that they've had to withdraw Pedro Borges, it means Jarvis has less support. He's having to try and be the hold-up man, but he's not got as many people around him to offer that support, so it's harder for anything to stick up in the York half. Long ball played forward, nearly finds Tyree Sinclair. Smith did well to get underneath him, hook it clear, left-footed, but it's come as far as Felix, still inside the Yeovil half, and now Felix just pausing, getting control, and York have possession inside the centre circle with Hunt on the half line. Here's Howe, and now Felix again out to the right hand side, and Adjiboy looking to make progress down the near touch line, playing it into Armstrong, and back to Adjiboy. Adjiboy still going Adjiboy up to the edge of the area. Sinclair trying to, well, I'm not entirely sure what he was trying there. He was whether it was a cross or whether it was an effort. Either way, it's gone harmlessly into the side netting. Bit of a let off there for Yeovil.
Yeah, a bit of a let off. There's going to be one this afternoon where you look at how many shots the York have, and you're going to be able to tell what sort of game it's going to be. Aaron Jarvis up front looking a very lonely figure, it does have to be said. as Yeovil continue to play the passing football that they know, which also got Finn Cousin-Dawson sent off.
He got him into a lot of trouble indeed. Right will clear, left-footed, long and downfield, looking for Jarvis. He's battling with Fagan Walcott, and Fagan Walcott emerges with possession. It's going to be a tough afternoon for Aaron Jarvis. 29 minutes gone. York 1, Yeovil 0. Hunt inside the centre circle for the home side, and now it's with Crooks and Sinclair. Sinclair almost miscontrolled it, almost span out of play, but he managed to regain his composure, regain possession, and York's still with the ball. Here's Felix, who, as much as he started off at right back, he seems to have back in field and playing a little bit more advanced now. He's very much dictating play, and the ball is played forward, looking for the run of Armstrong, who'd gone bursting through the... He's just in front of him, but again, another heart-and-mouth moment there for Yeovil.
Yep, that was a simple ball straight over the top this time by for Yeovil Town to deal with. I'm just finding it interesting just watching Charlie Cooper's position. He's playing more as a centre back at the moment.
Here's Hunt breaking forward for York City. Now out to the left-hand side, and Sinclair. Right-footed ball in towards the back post, looking for Armstrong. The ball goes over his head, bounces behind for a goal kick. York continuing to press and apply the pressure.
Yeah, they do, and there's a real inquiry going out on that pitch for those Yeovil players. McGavin is asking Bernard, what was that ball to me? Bernard saying, I'm not really sure, really. But Yeovil, they're up against it. There's no doubt about it. Going away to York anyway would have been a tough fixture. Now they're down to 10 men. This is going to nearly be impossible. But they keep saying they've been good all season. They just got to stick to what they know.
Ball cleared out, but it's only come as far as Howe, who got a heavy touch, but he's done very well there to race and keep the ball in play. Howe, and then Smith struggled to keep it in play, and it's gone out of play for a throw-in to York City. And just you saw the spirit there from Colin Howe to race and prevent that ball going out, and it's actually won his team territory and a throw-in. Yeah, I mean, from a York City point of view, their possession has been spot on. Their decision making's been spot on, and nothing's going Yeovil's way at the minute. It doesn't. Even the throw-in that happened just a minute ago, Michael Smith. What's he kicking that out for? It's just very strange decisions. York once again in possession. Hunt's playing it forward to Aguiar, who miscontrols and then fouls Kofi Shaw. Shaw did rather well there just to draw that foul and win a free kick for his side. But precious few opportunities going forward for Yeovil in this match, which they trail by a goal to nil. And it's a tough week for Yeovil, of course, on Wednesday night. They are up against Barnet, who are third today, started the day third in the National League table. Of course, you'll be on duty, Joe. I will, yeah, I will. You'll indeed be putting your vocal cords to announce at Hewish Park for that one. But yeah, Yeovil will have to put in, I would say, a much improved showing, but it's always going to be difficult when you're down to 10 men against one of the best sides in the league. As Aggie that possession for York, and now it's with Sinclair again down the left-hand side. They're really targeting Michael Smith. It's all played in field to Aguiar. Now the ball runs loose, and it's with Brooks back to Aguiar. 30 yards out, right foot, the ball chipped in. Looking after the run of Pierce. Pierce fighting. It runs right across the 6-yard box. Yeovil just about get it clear, but strength and skill there from Ollie Pierce on the edge of the 6-yard box, almost fashioning a chance as York attack again. It's now with Adjiboy, level with the edge of the Yeovil penalty area. He plays it back onto Felix, and Felix has it once more. Dinks it out to the right-hand side, and it's with Adjiboy, and here's Felix once again. Now they work it to the left-hand side. Howe striding forward up over the halfway line, midway inside the Yeovil half, it back to the right-hand side. York so comfortable, so in control at the moment. Hunt, central position all the time to be able to pick a pass, and now it works out to Sinclair, level with the edge of the penalty area on the near side, and now they go across again, and this just shows how much control York have at the moment. Yeah, I mean, wow, it's control, and then there's what York City are doing right now, which is complete domination. I don't think Yeovil Town touched the ball for 3, maybe 4 minutes. They don't even look like they're going to touch the ball here, Chris. Ball threaded through to Aguiar, and now Sinclair looking to make a run. He's faced by Smith again. Right-footed pass back onto Aguiar. Aguiar thought about having a shot, instead plays 1-2. Leaves it for Sinclair. Sinclair trying to bend one. Takes a deflection off Smith. Runs loose in the penalty area. Cleared away by Yeovil, but only as far as Howe for York City, who strides forward again. Now out to the right-hand side, and it's with Adjiboy. Adjiboy looking to drift in field this time. Now on to Hunt. Yeovil have got every player back inside their final thirds as they look to make it difficult for York to try and thread their way through. Sinclair's screaming for it in all sorts of space on the near side, the left. It's with Crooks. He's been closed down by Shaw, and looks like Sinclair has to go back onto the halfway line, and Callum Howe with 11 minutes to go until the break. York leading by a goal to nil. And to be honest, it's a long time since I've seen a game where one side has dominated possession as much as this.
Yeah, this is hard to watch. This is really hard to watch for Yeovil. Yeovil are really being taught a lesson here. And I mean, it's hard to describe, to be honest, Chris. Yeovil are just being completely dominated everywhere.
Here's Boy down the right-hand side looking to burn plant for pace as the shot comes in from Armstrong, trying to hook it towards the bottom corner. It runs... Well, he didn't quite get a strong enough touch on it. It runs out of... Well, it's still in play. Blair did well. And then he tried to burst past Smith, and Smith has fouled him, and he'll get a yellow card for his troubles, and it'll be a free kick to York in a very dangerous position.
Yep, that's been coming for about 10-15 minutes now. Michael Smith getting booked on Sinclair. Michael Smith has not had Sinclair anywhere near him this afternoon. And it's something that the York assistant manager is screaming at his team. He wants them to double up on Michael Smith, and the game plan's working so far. I mean, the only positive is, Chris, we're 34 minutes in and it's only 1-0. I mean, from a Yeovil Town point of view, down to 10 men, haven't touched the ball for about 7-8 minutes. That's not at all bad.
I'm really
touching, can you tell?
They've had to really go into a defensive mode to make things difficult for York, obviously playing at that disadvantage, down to 10 men. So York have this free kick. It's on the left-hand side. It is going to be a yard or two up from the byline and just outside the left edge of the penalty area. Standing over it is Hunt. He lays it off to Aguiar, and now Hunt again tries to drill it in. The Wall did their job very well there, charging down. The ball spins up towards the halfway line. Charlie Cooper goes herring after it. Felix picks it up for York, and now he goes back to the keeper, Harrison Mail. Diagonal ball by Mail. It's come all the way through to Sinclair, who was in an offside position, and it'll be a free kick to Yeovil.
Yep, very good shape. Very, very good shape by Yeovil Town. It doesn't have to be said. They defended that set piece quite good. They were comfortable. They were pretty comfortable there, but yeah, it's not great viewing for those fans in the far corner who travel all this way. It must have to be said, Chris.
Yeah, there was. I would say there's a good few hundred there.
Yeah.
That's about 300. Around that, maybe a bit more. Have made the long journey up from Somerset. As you said, you were up at 6:30 this morning, so it's a long way to go to see your team go 1-0 down and down to 10 men inside 10 minutes. But in fairness to York, they have made it difficult for York to play through. Yes, they're not getting a lot of possession. Yes, York are dominating in that front, and yes, chances are going to be few and far between. But in fairness to Yeovil, we've got to the 36-minute mark.
Yeah.
York, the goalkeeper, Wright, hasn't really had a difficult save to make. They've had the chances, but he's not had a real tough went flying. Cooper thinks the York man made a little bit of a meal of that, but it'll be a free kick to the home side, just over the halfway line on the left-hand side, as they then take it infield, and it's on to Malachi Fagan Walcott. Now to Fagan, and short passing again from Adam Hinchelwood's side, who looked mightily impressive this afternoon in the way they've controlled the game. Howe deep inside his own half, and then Out it comes to Fagan Walcott, trying to close his man down, and just the pressing there by Yeovil, just pushing York back. Good pressing here as Mill passes it out under pressure from Jarvis, and a few shouts from the York fans and indeed the Yeovil fans. They sense maybe Yeovil can get a hold of the ball. Now it's with Jarvis. Jarvis battling to retain it though. He's lost out and York try and bring it clear. It's inside the York half and good pressing again by Yeovil there. They've won a throw in. Plant putting pressure on Adjiboy. Adjiboy's made the mistake and the Yeovil fans over on the far side roaring their team on.
Yeah, they're really going for it in that far corner. Fair play to them. You don't come all this way just to sit and watch. You've got to get your voice off on, which is what they're doing. Yeovil got quite a dangerous throw-in. It does have to be head now near the corner flag in the far corner.
Yeah, it's been taken quickly onto Plant. Right-footed ball whipped in towards the penalty area looking for Jarvis, but it's too far ahead of him and will run comfortably out of play for a goal kick to York City.
Yeah, we're coming up to the 40th minute in this game, and yeah, it's been a tricky first half for Yeovil Town. No doubt Mark Cooper will reset them at half time. We probably won't see many changes now at all. We'll just see how well Yeovil have coped though since the red card. It's showing good character.
The trouble is, at some stage, if you want to go for it, if it stays 1-0, you want to go for it, you then have to take probably a player out of the defensive lineup, which then makes you more vulnerable to the York attack as they attack themselves down the left-hand side. It's with Sinclair racing up against Smith. Sinclair into the penalty area. A few little overs, but he's given it away. Cooper scoops the ball away downfield, but it'll only find Fagan Walcott inside the centre circle. He strokes a beautiful pass forward onto Armstrong. Plays it on to Adjiboy and Felix, and now it's back with Howe on the edge of the centre circle. He drags the ball back and goes to right instead, and now Felix works it out to the far right touchline, and with Armstrong on to Felix once more. The ball once again, Yeovil getting everyone back, sitting deep, making it difficult for York to play through them. And they'll look to try and take their chances as they can on the counter with any sort of set piece, as Jarvis tries to put Howe under pressure, and that has to go all the way back to the goalkeeper Harrison Mill, who doesn't have any load of options ahead of him, instead has to go long, and Williams has time to take the ball down. Very nearly gave it away but recovered, finds Cooper, and now the ball's played forward looking for Plant racing after it. It'll be just too far ahead of him, but Mill has to side foot it out for a Yeovil throw in midway inside the York half. Yeah,
I mean that's Yeovil's best outlet at the minute is James Plant on loan from Port Vale. He's been fantastic down that left hand side, really looking dangerous. And because York are pushing their left back forward, the space is out there for Yeovil on that left hand side.
I do get the impression in the last 5 minutes Yeovil have just grown a little bit in confidence. They've had a few little forays forwards and they're just pressing forward a little bit more. So we'll see what they can do in the remaining 3.5 minutes of this match. They've given it away. Plant not able to control it, and now Hunt in possession for York City inside the centre circle. Here's Felix in that kind of it's a strange role because he did start out as a right back in this match, but he seems to have sort of advanced forward, playing in a defensive midfield role, allowing him to get on the ball more. Howe being put in pressure by Shaw. Howe has to go back towards Harrison Mill. Jarvis is closing the York keeper, who clears it and makes a slight error, slicing the ball out to the right hand side, and Whittle wins the ball back for Yeovil, who have possession inside the York half, a rarity in this match. McGavin, Williams playing it all the way back to right, who will send the ball left footed, spinning deep into York territory. Fagan Walcott loops a header back towards his goalkeeper, and it's gathered up by Mill quite comfortably in the York goal.
Yeah, what the last 5 minutes have shown us is a little bit of Yeovil character, which is awesome, but it's also showed us the vulnerability of Harrison Mill in the York goal. Twice he's had the ball come back to him, and twice he's almost hit it out of touch. So Yeovil will be using that to their strength and to this one as the half comes to an end, I'm sure. York are just moving it too slow. You wouldn't know that it's 10 against 11 on the pitch at the moment. It's too slow from York City.
Yeah, Harrison Mill, the York keeper, moved after a season with Dorking in the National League, where he was the regular keeper. Dorking, of course, relegated as York attack now down the right-hand side. Adjiboy trying to take it down inside the penalty area. Across comes, I think, Don Bernard to force the ball behind. It'll be a corner kick to York City with 2 minutes to go plus stoppage time in the first half.
Yep, good defending again by Tom Bernard, good by Yeovil, but as you quite rightly said, Chris, the more bodies Yeovil send forward, the more vulnerable they're going to be at the back, and that was 3 passes that York City were in, so it is very much a balancing game, but while it's still 1-0, we never know.
Aguiar comes across to take the corner, he just rearranges the ball on the edge of the D. Up from the back, they've got Adam Crooks in there. Fagan Walker is in 2, instead York play it short and the ball works its way back to Aguiar. Ball sent in towards the penalty area, headed away by Yeovil. It'll come out as far as Shaw, and Shaw battling and then fouled by a York man over on the far side, and there'll be a free kick to Yeovil as they see off that attack fairly comfortably.
Yeah, well done 17-year-old Kofi Shaw, really showing his maturity there. Got a free kick and quite a dangerous position from a York point of view. But Yeovil they're growing slowly into this game. It was always going to be a shock having 10 men. But yeah, it's not been too bad. It was quite hard for the 20-odd minutes, but Yeovil have grown into them.
Yeah, we'll see how Yeovil progress throughout the rest of the game, but certainly the last few minutes have been better than the previous half hour as Pearce battles, and now here come York, and they're breaking forward. It's Sinclair. Sinclair gets the shot away. Oh, it's Ollie Wright. He spilled it into the back of the net. Tyree Sinclair with a rather tame effort, to be honest. It was straight at Ollie Wright. He put both his hands down to try and scoop the ball away. Instead it span up off his arms and bobbled into the back of the net. It's a horrible moment for Ollie Wright, and York have doubled their advantage just before half time. York 2, Yeovil 0.
Yeah, 3 minutes of additional time here. Yeovil Town don't need that. 3 minutes. Yeovil Town need to get in that dressing room and reorganise. It's been coming, Ollie Wright. Ollie Wright came out previously from a corner side. He spilled that, but this ball is soaking wet, and what a shame for the goalie. A goalie who has been absolutely superb all season for Yeovil Town, it does have to say. He has been absolutely magnificent. Let's not let that get the boy down. He's only 21 years of age. He's going to make mistakes from Southampton. That's why he's come out on loan. But from a game point of view, we probably game over, I imagine.
Yeah, you would say so. And just as Yeovil were growing back into the game, York make that swift attack, and an awful moment for Ollie Wright making that error, and
yeah.
You could double their advantage. And I can say actually Josh Sims just getting ready down on the touchline. I wonder if he'll come on in the second half, I don't know, but yeah, York 2-0 up, and you would think fully in control of this game now. Yep. Bearing in mind York are down to 10 men with Finn Cousin-Dawson sent off after just 10 minutes for the away side. Here come York again at Hunt, and Yeovil just need to see out these last 90 seconds or so. They don't be going any further behind. It's Hunt in the centre circle, sprays it out to Sinclair in acres of room on the left touchline. Sinclair in towards the final third, faced down by Shaw. He plays it on to Aguiar. Aguiar will switch play out to the right hand side, and Joe Felix, now he looks to play it back to Howe, as once again Yeovil get every player back behind, and they've managed to reorganise this time to make it harder for York to play through. We've got 1 minute of stoppage time to go, might be a little more added on because of late restarting after that goal. Here's McGavin for Yeovil, but he was closed down by 2 York defenders, has to go backwards to Williams, and Wright then sends a ball forward. Header won by Adam Crooks, and now Hunt again with it for York City, midway inside his own half. York leading Yeovil by 2-0 as a long ball comes forward, and it's taken down by Armstrong. Armstrong running forward down the right channel, and York in possession. Adjaboy out to Armstrong again, drifting in field. Felix on to Hunt, midway inside the Yeovil half. Now back towards the halfway line, right of centre, as Fagan Walcott plays a diagonal ball, and again Tyree Sinclair getting all sorts of joy down the left hand side, attacking into the penalty area, looks to get toward the byline, tries to beat Smith, is pinched off his toe, caught Bernard, and then just on the follow through Sinclair clips Don Bernard on the edge of the 6-yard box, and it'll be a free kick to Yeovil.
Yeah, so far it's been the Tyree Sinclair show here at the York City Stadium. It must be said, he's having an absolute great game against Michael Smith. I wonder if Josh Shipp is going to come on to help Michael Smith down this right hand side, which is probably what Cooper's going to do. From a spectacle, this game was ruined on 10 minutes. From a perspective of a scoreline, this game's probably over, which is so sad. We've still got 5 minutes to go.
Pedro Borges just putting his jumper on the touchline there, down in the dugout. Yeovil in possession with Morgan Williams playing it short, little dummy by McGavin. He then gets it back, and McGavin looking to break forwards as Cooper has it inside the centre circle. He turns and spins away from Aguiar and now finds McGavin again. That's a good ball out to the left side, and Whittle breaking forwards. Whittle up to the edge of the area, plays the ball back, looking for Cooper with the header, but he can't get any purchase on it, can't direct it towards goal, and it runs out of play quite comfortably for a goal kick.
Yep, wrong person there for Charlie Cooper, unfortunately. If that was Aaron Jarvis, we'd be looking at it a little bit differently.
So the half-time whistle goes, and York City lead Yeovil Town by 2-0. Yeovil reduced to 10 men when Finn Cousin-Dawson was sent off after just 10 minutes. Alex Pearce then scored from the resulting free kick. Yeovil, they faced all sorts of York pressure and possession. They'd managed to withstand it until just before the break, when Tyrese Sinclair's shot was spooned into his own net by Ollie Wright. Ian Welsh, a really difficult first half there for Yeovil. That sending off clearly the pivotal moment. They in a bit and they did sort of hold York off for a while, but that second goal looks to have killed the game off.
Yeah, looks like the game's done, unfortunately. I feel so sorry for Ollie Pearce, but yeah, we'll see what the second half brings.
So half-time then, here on BBC Radio Somerset, a mountain for Yeovil in the second half to climb. Half-time, it's York City 2, Yeovil Town 0.
His teammates from Brooklyn Football Club under 8 have a great day, Sheen, and another City fan celebrating his 8th birthday. It's Ruben Bevington, joined at the LMAR by his friends Albert Newbeard and Andrew.
And Evans, rugby writer with Dan Albert. Not many people would be expecting 0-0 to be the half-time scoreline.
No, they wouldn't, Richard. We've got a football score at the rugby today. 0-0. Bath had the best chance. Alfie Barbary actually got the ball over the line at one point, but knocked it on in the process. Bedford started strongly. They had quite a lot of territory, but they couldn't put any points on the board either. And it's been a story and a half of mistakes and errors in the midfield. Lots of pressure from Bath at the end, but Bedford held out. So of the two sides, I think the hosts will be happy, but as I say, football score at the rugby today.
Yeah, are you envisaging a different second half for the slope in the other direction?
There should be. I mean, the rain is coming down, so it's going to be, the conditions are only going to get worse, so I'm expecting more handling errors, but I am expecting some points at some point. And I think in the final 20 minutes, once both sides start to bring on their substitutes, I think that's where Bath's bigger strength in depth and their experience will tell, and that's probably where they will pull away in the end. We're not going to see 70-point wins like we have the last 2 weeks, but I still fancy Bath to do the job in the final quarter.
Enjoy the second half, 104.6 FM, 1566 medium wave and online via the BBC Sport website and app. It's York City 2, Yeovil Town 0. Ian Welch, Yeovil down to 10 men, the red card of Finn Cousin-Dawson. A lot of Yeovil fans using the word discipline at half-time.
Yeah, it's all about discipline, Rich, I'm afraid. Yeah, it's not been great from a Yeovil Town point of view. They had a good 5-minute spell where they were in control. They should have really scored. But it's shooting themselves in the foot again. It's going to be another suspension for another defender.
And 2-0 down at half-time. I think Mark Cooper will want them to win the second half. I mean, the game would appear lost at this stage.
Yeah, that's what it will be about for Mark Cooper. Just win the second half, win your individual battles, try and get some pride back on that shirt. But I mean, I feel sorry for Ollie Wright, who was at fault for the second goal. He's been absolutely magnificent all season, it does have to be said. But yeah, I feel really sorry for this team, Rich. They came here with a little bit of confidence, but that confidence got shattered after about 10 minutes, which is a real shame.
Okay, the second half is on 95.5 FM. Like at Goldington Road, the technology slightly letting us down. If it's a bit glitchy, we're doing our best to bring you the best coverage we can. Other latest scores: Eastbourne 0, Bath City 0, Weston-super-Mare 1, Farnborough 1, Luke Coulson for the home side. In the Southern League, Dorchester 1, Taunton 1, Owen Brain for Taunton, and Bristol Manor Farm are 2-0 up at Shaftesbury, Evander Grubb and Louis Britton for the visitors. It's Larkhall 0, Mousehole 0 and Yate 0, Evesham 0. The games at Frome and Cribbs have been postponed due to the weather. A result: Bristol Bears women 26, Trailfinders 7, Emma Orr Ro Martin Mulhern and Sarah Byrne scoring tries, as well as Amber Reid. So a win for Bristol Bears women this afternoon against Trailfinders. In the Premier League, these are half-time scores. Bournemouth 0, Brighton 1. Arsenal 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 2. Everton 0, Brentford 0. And Fulham 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. At Ashton Gate, City lost 1-0 at home to Burnley this lunchtime. Jayden Anthony with the only goal in the game in the first half. City, well, a lot of fans felt they should have had a penalty in the second half for a handball. Josh Brownhill not given by the referee. Wasn't to be for City. After the game, Ed's caught up with one of the City players, Rob Dickey.
Rob, I'd imagine a slightly frustrated dressing room, you tell me.
Yeah, we are frustrated. We're quite disappointed that we've not come away with anything from the game. We feel like we created a really good chance in the second half, and we got the ball in their box quite a lot and should have had more first contacts, to be honest. Yeah, just a frustrating day at the office.
And is that, it's difficult off one game to sort of say it, but you've run Sheffield United and today Burnley, 2 ex-Premier League teams, really close. Is that kind of where you are? You're almost there, but not quite at that level yet? Yeah,
I think so. I think we like you said, we've run 2 sort of ex-Prem teams very close. We know we can match them, but it's just where it counts in football is the penalty box, and unfortunately for us, they were better than us in the box today.
They took the one chance, and I guess you had the sort of penalty shout and quite a few sort of set pieces, good delivery that you just couldn't quite get ahead on today. Yeah,
definitely, that's it, and it's such fine margins. But we have to sort of pick ourselves up and take the sort of positives and the belief from today that we're competing with with sides that are up the top end of the Championship, and go to Watford and put it right.
And is that belief there? Because it should be. The way you've been performing, frankly, over the whole course of the season, there have been a couple of matches you probably want back, but other than that, you've been at a good level all the games.
Yeah, no, we have. I think the belief is there, but not like. I think it was a little bit disappointing in the sort of from kind of like 20 minutes to half time. I think if we'd have believed in ourselves a bit more, been a bit more brave, maybe we could have gone into half time, level or something. So yeah, we do believe in ourselves, but just want us to sort of take that onto the pitch and be a bit braver. But yeah, it's we take the positives from today. We've run a good side very close. They were sort of camped in their box towards the end of the game, which is only because of our good play. But it's up to us to punish them.
And I guess you've done okay here. There's been a few too many draws, I would think. But away from home, you put up some decent scalps, and you've been very good. Yeah,
I think we can be well suited to playing at home. We're a very good sort of transitional team. I think what we've shown is we can go to places, tough places as well, and really be difficult to play against and hurt teams when they give us a chance.
And defensively, at the very start of the season, there were probably a few more goals being leaked than the team would like. But recently, as a unit, you've looked much more solid.
Yeah, we've tightened up a lot. Yeah. And that's just credit to, credit to our training and taking training into games. We work on it a lot, and we defend as if we're conceding a lot of goals, I don't look at the goalkeeper, I don't look at the defence. It's the whole team thing. So when we're keeping clean sheets, the whole team should take the rewards from that, because it is a team effort to keep another team out.
And for you personally, it's been such a stop-start season with the injury and everything. Yeah. How are you feeling?
Yeah, no, I feel good. Touch wood. I feel fit. I've had a good batch of sort of a good block of training. Obviously, I played 90 against Preston. Unfortunately, what happened at Sheffield United happened, but that allowed me to get even more training in the bank. And yeah, no, I feel good. I feel good to go again on Tuesday.
Yeah. And Watford are a team that I think people might have expected, if not to struggle, but they're exceeding expectations and look a dangerous side.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't really expect them to struggle. I think it's a good side at this level, and they have got some really good players. I know that they kind of bring in players that are a little bit unknown, but if they've got some very good players, and they'll be a threat.
Yeah. And bouncing back in terms of the frustrations of the Sheffield United game, the team played really well against Norwich. You've got to do the same now.
Yeah, it's important that we sort of, don't sort of forget about this game, but take the positives from it. You learn from the negatives and go again Tuesday. You can't sort of have a hangover from it.
Rob Dickey talking to Ed Hadwin after the defeat against Burnley this lunchtime. Sound of the City on Monday. Join me from 6 o'clock. We'll have an interview of Jamie Knight-Labelle, who's on loan at Crewe, made his full international debut for Canada in the week, so we'll catch up with him, as well as review the game with Burnley and look forward to Watford on Tuesday night. Saturday Sport, BBC Radio Bristol, BBC Radio Somerset together. So they're just starting the second half on 104.6 FM and 1566 medium wave. Bedford 0, Bath 0. On 95.5 FM, it's currently York City 2, Yeovil Town 0. Whilst on Radio Bristol's DAB frequencies and Somerset's DAB frequencies, as well as 94.9 FM, it's half-time Mansfield 0, Bristol Rovers 0. In the Premier League then, it is finished. The early kick-off, Leicester City 1, Chelsea 2. So Chelsea winning 2-1 this afternoon. Let's get you some half-time reports from the Premier League. We'll start with Bournemouth, who are trailing Brighton. Henry Moran.
Bournemouth 0, Brighton 1. João Pedro following up to tap in after Jorginho's effort was parried after 3 minutes. Brilliant sweeping move forward from Brighton. Bournemouth have largely dominated the following 48 minutes or so. Evan Nielsen's had a goal disallowed. Kluivert's forced a good save from Verbruggen. Really entertaining game this at the break. Bournemouth 0, Brighton 1.
Yeah, it's Arsenal 1, Nottingham Forest 0, and Fulham against Wolves is currently 1 apiece. Everton against Brentford is 0-0. And it's Aston Villa against Crystal Palace. Let's squeeze in a report with Pat Murphy.
1, Crystal Palace 2. They've never mastered Villa. He got an early goal with his pace and power, and then just before half-time, he laid on the second goal for Devaney with a quick break, perfectly judged pass. Before that, Mateta missed a sitter when it was 0-1. Watkins made it 1-1. Great pass from McGinn. Bailey then hit a post. Tielemans missed a penalty. Great save by Palace's keeper Henderson. A lot of action. Villa 1, Palace 2.
If you're listening to us on 95.5 FM, it's time for the second half of York City against Yeovil Town with Ian Welch and Chris Sykes. And for the rest of us, we are now going to go back to Field Mill, where it's Mansfield Town 0, Bristol Rovers 0. The second half with Nathan Ellis
and Tyree Sinclair with the goals. Ian Welch alongside me, Yeovil Stadium announcer. I mean, what can Yeovil look to do in this second half?
What they'll have to do is they just have to win this half. They have to win their own battles, which I must say they have been doing. They have been doing to an extent, and we must also remember that Jake Wonnell was suspended 4 games, and now cousin Dawson, following his red card, is also going to get a suspension. So this is really, really going to hit Yeovil hard at the back. But they proved it. They proved it. They can come to these big grounds. They can play these teams. But we must also remember as well that York City are going to be up there this season, and they are second in the league, and they're second for a reason. He's playing some good football.
Yeah, very much so, and they've looked very strong this match, York City. We've seen why they are second in the table. We've seen just how good they are. Ollie Pearce in particular, he scored the free kick from the Finn Cousin-Dawson sending off. And to be honest, he's been a handful all match, but in particular as well, Tyree Sinclair's been a big threat. He created that first goal by being the man who got past Finn Cousin-Dawson, who Dawson put down. And then he scored the second goal, albeit off Wally Wright. But Sinclair in particular has got a lot of joy in that first half against Michael Smith down the right-hand side.
He has, yeah. And I mean, Tyrese Sinclair, Ollie Pearce, Joe Felix, this York team is oozing with real quality, it does have to be said. But it also has to be said, York City have obviously got the money. We know that very well. It's been well documented. But what we're seeing on show here this afternoon is a real degree of sort of a real authoritative display by York City. They are really, really doing well. And what Yeovil Town have to do, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Ollie Sims come out second half, try and block the wingers, which is what York are trying to do. York are trying to play wingers in. If you could block that by Yeovil Town, then who knows what might happen. It's only 2-0 after all.
Yeah, indeed. That's a big task ahead of Yeovil as they are first out onto the pitch here at York. It does appear that the rain has eased off a little bit. It is still raining, but the floodlights now come on and as it gets dark, and York City stride out onto the pitch as well. We're just keeping an eye out for any changes in the Yeovil team. I can see they've got 8 or 9 players have come back out, so I think there might well be a change actually. I'm just trying to work out who may not have come back out, but I think we're likely to see some sort of reshuffle again from Mark Cooper as they look to try and limit the damage that York might inflict.
Yeah, absolutely. If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Mark Cooper. A great manager, a great bloke as well. This Yeovil team are full of talent. They really have got some talent in amongst them. And we're going to go back to the last away game at Southend. They were absolutely superb then. That time it was Yeovil playing with the 11 men. This time it's York playing with the 11 men. Yeovil Town know that they're going to get an onslaught of possession by York. They were already going to get an onslaught of possession by York anyway. But now the task is a little bit harder, it's a little bit trickier. We will see how this second half gets underway. I'd just like to see more of the same really from Yeovil Town.
So Josh Sims is definitely going to come back on as Yeovil prepare to get us
Jarvis
underway. Yeah, it is Aaron Jarvis who hasn't come out, I think, for this second half. So that could well be the change. Josh Sims definitely coming on. Yeovil, as I say, they'll get us underway, kicking from right to left in this second half in their green strip, going from right to left, as I say. York, home strip of red shirts, dark blue shorts and white socks. They're going from left to right. And the same Yeovil will begin us in this second half. Thank you for joining myself, Chris Sykes, with Ian Welsh on 95.5 BBC Radio Somerset, BBC Sounds and Freeview Channel 714. And just confirmation that it is Aaron Jarvis who has gone off, with Josh Sims coming on. So Yeovil, they've got Ollie Wright in goal, Michael Smith, Dom Bernard, Morgan Williams, Alex Whittle and James Plant, with Brett McGavin, Charlie Cooper, Kofi Shaw and Josh Sims as the Smith lineup. I'll run through the York team and remaining Yeovil substitutes very shortly. It's Yeovil in possession early on, down left hand side. The ball is sent forward by Whittle but unable to keep possession, and it's won back by Yeovil, who line up then unchanged in the second half with Harrison Mail in goal, and Joe Felix, Callum Howe, Malachi Fagan Walcott and Adam Crutch in defence, Marvin Armstrong, Alex Hunt and Ricky Aguiar in midfield, with David Adjiboy, Ollie Pearce and Tyree Sinclair in the front three. And Yeovil, their substitutes: Matt Gold, Frank Newblay, Sonny Bluelow Everton, Dylan Morgan and Harvey Greenslade, as York attack down the right hand side with Pearce with the ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's turned over the crossbar. It was Sinclair drifting in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, stuck it over the crossbar, but an early moment of danger for Yeovil.
Yeah, early moment. Yeovil Town there. Right, Mark Cooper was saying that there was a foul on the Yeovil player, which there probably was a foul, but the ref waved play on. And yeah, Yeovil know they've got a game here. They were always going to get a game coming away to York. But what they need to do now is, which is exactly what they're doing really, they just need to keep control, keep possession, which is easier said than done against a very good York team, I appreciate. But and they just need to win their battles, which is all Mark Cooper will ask for, I'm sure.
It does look like, in terms of where Josh Sims will play, he's gone out to the right of what looks like a front three, with Kofi Shaw sort of dropping in and out as a front nine, and I think James Plant will play, or look to try and be a bit more advanced. He'll have a lot happening in this half, I think. He'll have to come back to do a lot of defensive work, but I think he will get forward quite a lot as well. As York attack down the left hand side, Sinclair nearly managing to get past Smith, but Smith recovered, hooks it out of play, throwing to York over on the far side, level with the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, it's very much a back four of it's very much a back four of Smith, Bernard, Williams and Whittle, and then we've got the midfield two of Cooper and McGavin, and then it is a very fluid. It's almost Sims playing as a right midfielder and Plant playing as a left midfielder, and then Kofi Shaw up front on his own. But when you're over on the attack, it's a periphery of Shaw, Sims and Plant, which is promising. It's good for Mark Cooper.
Well, we'll see how it develops throughout this second half. 2.5 minutes gone. Ball headed away by Bernard inside the penalty area, and then York have been penalised. I was just looking to see what had occurred there, but York have been penalised. I think that's Tyree Sinclair who's been booked for a foul on Dom Bernard inside the Yeovil penalty area. For a moment I looked and just wondered whether he was going to point to the spot there for a moment, but it was Sinclair jumping into Bernard. That's been the decision of the referee Oliver Mackey, and it will be a free kick to Yeovil, which Ollie Wright will take as the rain drifts across the LNER Community Stadium here in York. York's around for a few seasons now. They formerly played at Bootham Crescent, which is a very old school type of ground in the city centre. I remember it, they didn't really have toilets, you had to go around the back and go up against a wall, but a little less said about that the better. York in possession inside the centre circle, and a foul on Aguiar by Charlie Cooper. Owed back Alex Hunt tried to take it quickly. He actually kicked it into Aguiar, who was still down on the ground. Aguiar's now rolled over onto his haunches. He's up to his feet now, but yes, it will continue to be a free kick for York City. They just weren't able to play it on, but largely is their own doing on that occasion.
Yeah, they were trying to get Charlie Cooper in the book. That's exactly what York were trying to do, but instead they managed to hit it against their own player. But yeah, I mean, it's all right from Yeovil Town. It does have to say, Kofi Shaw's got raw pace,
as does James Plant, who's trying to beat Felix, but Felix did well to get back across and get his body in front of Plant and win the ball back for York City. Pass as to Felix, Plant putting him under pressure, but Felix did well to work it down the right-hand side, and now they can break forward through Fagan Walcott, lofting a ball, trying to see if Pearce can run in the Yeovil defence, but the ball's just too far ahead of the York City front man and easily gathered up by Ollie Wright, who'll be looking for a big second half after that first half. It will just play on his mind, that error, won't it?
Yeah, it will, but he has had a fantastic start to his green and white career, Ollie Wright, bless him. Of course, he knows Andy Hizzlewood very well, because he was the manager that had on loan to loan last season, which is where Yeovil picked them up from.
Yeah, from Worthing. Yep. And Adam Hinshelwood then taking over at York in February, and Ollie Wright joining at the start of the season on loan from Southampton. He's kept a clean sheet so far. You're a very impressive contributor, and what has been a good season for Yeovil thus far, but a difficult afternoon here in Yorkshire. York have it, ball out on the right hand side. It's Adjiboy. He rolls it back in to Fagan Walcott, and we'll see a lot of York maintaining possession and a lot of Yeovil dropping back into their final third to make it hard for the home side to play through. The ball comes out to the right hand side, and it's Adjiboy. Now Pearce trying to thread it through for the York front man, but standing strong was Morgan Williams, and the ball cannons off the Yeovil defender out of play for a throw-in to York City.
Yeah, let's be under no illusions, Chris. Coming away to York City with 11 men was always going to be a hard task for Yeovil. We fully expect York City to be fighting for straight promotion back to the EFL. You look at the strength and depth in their squad, you look at the players that they've brought in. Going down to 10 men, it's just made it that little bit much harder for Yeovil Town.
Yeah, York playing it out from the back and doing well to avoid the Yeovil press. Felix in possession, now Adjiboy going backwards, and it's a throw in to York. Did you off a Yeovil player? Yeah, as you say, York City sitting the day just 2 points behind leaders Forest Green. Forest Green beat them at the New Lawn last week. Yeovil, meanwhile, they started just outside playoff places, a point outside the playoff places. It was always going to be a tough afternoon, and another difficult afternoon ahead when they play Barnet in midweek as well. That's Wednesday night at Hewish Park. Commentary on BBC Radio Somerset and BBC Sounds, of course, as Kofi Shaw wins addition for Yeovil. On the halfway line, left hand side, tries to sweep the ball forward. It touches a York player and ricochets out of play for a throw-in to the away side on the left hand side as we look, and Whittle tries to take it to 20 yards far forward than where the ball actually went out. York are going to make their first change, and it's Dipo Akiyemi who's going to come on. Tyree Sinclair is the man who's going to make way, possibly as a result of getting that booking earlier in this second half.
Yep, I think Tyree Sinclair's had a brilliant game for York City, it must be said, but it doesn't get any easier for Yeovil. Akinyema is coming on, and I no doubt he's going to go straight up front alongside Ollie Pearce as well. So 52 minutes on the clock, and York City have gambled already.
Yes, Tyree Sinclair coming off, and as you say, Dipu Akinyemi is the man who has come on. Just the 2 goals for him so far this season, but he's been prolific in previous years. He got 15 last season, 24 goals the year before that for Ayr in the Scottish Championship, so plenty of goal threat. And obviously with Ollie Pearce as well, a tough ask for Yeovil as they then foul Aguiar. And it is, trying to see who that was who went in the book.
Charlie Cooper.
Was it Charlie Cooper who's getting a yellow card there for Yeovil?
Yeah, that's 3 yellow cards for Yeovil this afternoon and 1 red card. The ref has been a little card friendly, but he's having quite a good game as the referee, it must be said. But yeah, Yeovil just got Kofi Shaw's been the real positive this afternoon. He's got so much raw pace, so much raw talent. Him and James Plant showing that there's no fears.
Yeah, Nera in defence as Morgan Williams sees the ball cannon off him. Pierce trying to thread it forward to Armstrong, but Williams did well to recover there and slide in with a challenge to win it on the edge of the box. It was an excellent challenge by Williams, so after the initial error, he managed to recover, and Yeovil have managed to bring the ball away. Here's McGavin losing out, and then York penalised with Felix fouling Kofi Shaw, and it's a free kick to Yeovil on the halfway line, just left of centre.
Yep, Yeovil will take this. Time to catch the breath. Very good attacking intent. So when Yeovil are on the attack at the minute, Kofi Shaw's playing as the striker. James Plant's alongside him, and Josh. Yeah, and Brett McGavin is running forward in a sort of number 10 role, which is suiting Yeovil really well.
Free kick taken by McGavin out to the right hand side diagonally. York head it clear though, and it comes out as far as Smith. Left-footed ball forward. The back heel nearly came in from Morgan Williams, who'd gone forwards, and no Yeovil player was able to run onto it, and now the ball's been bowled straight out to Adjiboy, and Adjiboy can race forward on the counter-attack for York City, up to the edge of the area. He's found Akinyemi, then Adjiboy strikes it left-footed, just wide of the left-hand post. Another strike across the bows there by York City, left-footed shot from David Adjiboy, rolling wide of right left hand post.
Yeah, a bit of risk and reward for Yeovil Town there. Harrison Mell, the really long throw past the halfway line, and then all of a sudden Adjiboy is on the attack, and he almost gets a third for York City.
We're going to see a third Yeovil change very shortly. Someone being ready up down there, but as Felix sweeps the ball forward for York City, Ingham's Pierce rushing in behind the Yeovil defence, but he was offside. It's Harvey Greenslade who's going to come on for Yeovil. So again, more of a natural forward presence, actually, which they haven't had in the opening 10 minutes of this second half.
Yeah, Harvey, again, a young player, signed in the summer, got quite a lot of good raw pace again on the pitch, so I imagine he'll be the focal point for this Yeovil Town team going forward for this second half. But yeah, Yeovil have stuck to their guns. This second half they've been much better, they've been much more, I want to say the word relaxed. They just seem a bit more at ease with the way that they're playing.
Well, they've certainly got nothing to lose in this second half as Charlie Cooper tries to nudge the ball forward, and he's barged over by Aguiar on the edge of the centre circle, so it'll be a free kick to Yeovil Town, and we'll see who is going to be withdrawn in favour of Greenslade. It's Michael Smith who's going to come off. So he's been playing for the right wing back this half, this match. So yeah, Michael Smith is one number that's gone up, and I think James Plant is going to be sent across to that side, and maybe Greenslade will play in the control down the left hand side.
Yeah. So James Plant, man of many talents, is now going to go to right back to take Michael Smith's position. Harvey Greenslade is going to go up front, and Kofi Shaw's going to play alongside him.
Ball played into the penalty area, heading in by Morgan Williams as York then closed down. Cooper it was who was trying to attack, but York managed to smother that effort, and it's gone out of play for a throw-in on the near side. It's the Yeovil left, Yeovil kicking from right to left in this second half. We've had 57 minutes. York 2, Yeovil 0. Throw-in to be taken by Whittle, level with the edge of the York penalty area. On to Cooper, trying to play it left-footed forward, but Armstrong stuck it to boot, and it'll be another throw-in to Yeovil, just a few yards back down the left touch line. Cooper will take this throw-in. Greenslade making the run, and he's the one who gets it, chesting it, adding a bit more physical presence up against Joe Felix, and then rolling the ball back to Cooper. He's looking for options, instead goes for the shot himself, curls one in, very comfortable for Harrison Mill, but it'll go down as a shot on target.
It will go down as a shot on target. 58 minutes played. It was good by Yeovil Town, lots of possession. Started with Harvey Greenslade. Harvey Greenslade held the ball up really well, drew two York players out, and then that left the room for Charlie Cooper to have a little shot, and why not? You're 2-0 down.
York in possession, and they stroke the ball forward and trying to work it down the left hand side. Akinyemi trying to make the run at Plant, who's moved over to that right hand side in place of Michael Smith, just subbed off. York back in possession with Aguiar, and then he goes on to Howe and on to Felix again on the edge of the centre circle. Now comes out to the left-hand side, and York will play it back to the goalkeeper, Harrison Mill. Yeovil will just push out a bit further. So yeah, it looks like Greenslade is taking up a bit more of a central role. There'll be Sims on the right, and then Shaw seems to have drifted to the left of a front three, certainly when Yeovil aren't in possession.
Yeah, it's two different formations as Frank Nouble, Dylan Morgan and Sonny Blue Everton go to warm up in front of us here. It's bitterly cold and that rain is hammering down now.
Very much a cold afternoon here in Yorkshire. As the ball is swept forward. Now Shaw is racing in behind. Mill has come out and Mill just steers it straight out to play. Muted cheers go up from the several hundred Yeovil fans who made the long trip up and will be making the long trip back down to Somerset again. You amongst them.
Me,
Ian, yes, as Yeovil take the throw in quickly. And Plant trying to make progress down the right-hand side, but Akinyemi it was who tracked back and showed good strength there for York to block off the Yeovil man, and it's out of play for a goal kick to York.
Is it always this cold up north, Chris? Is it always?
It's, to be honest, this isn't cold.
Is it not?
Believe it or not, Lord. We've had a lot colder, certainly in the last few
You've
days
not even
as
got
well.
your gloves on.
I know, well, yeah, we're hardy as northerners, that's the thing. Yes, so, no, it was touching zero a few days ago. So, yeah, this is 5 or 6, it's practically tropical for November. Here come York, they're looking to break it forward with Callum Howe. Oh, now you've said that, I'm conscious of it and I've actually put my gloves on. Here's Callum Howe with his bright yellow boots for York. And Fagan Walcott rolls it down the right-hand side as the York fans try to get going. Pearce scooping the ball forward, looking for Armstrong. Williams is racing across to it, as is Wright. Wright steers it straight out of play. Pearce wanting to take the quick throw in while Wright was out of his goal, and instead only finds Armstrong, who struggled to control it, and that just gave Yeovil a few seconds to be able to get back and reset. 60 minutes gone, we've reached the hour mark. It's York 2, it's Yeovil 0. BBC Radio Somerset, 95.5 FM, Preview Channel 714, and on BBC Sound as well. Thank you very much for your company this afternoon. As the ball goes all the way back to Harrison Mill in the York goal, left-footed clearance down the left-hand channel. Akinyemi does well to keep the ball in play, and it just goes to show the strength and depth York have as well. If you've got someone like Akinyemi who's on the bench, and then come on, and he's looked lively in the opening few minutes. Armstrong trying to turn away from Williams. Williams does well though to see off him and Ellis, and then get the ball back to Ollie Rice. What have you made of Yeovil in the opening 16 and a half minutes of the second half?
I think they've been good. It's been positive from Yeovil Town. Mark Cooper's clearly given them a message in the half-time interval, and that message is to try and get that ball quicker, try and get that ball to your feet. And the moving of Brett McGavin up towards the number 10 role is actually proving to be quite a genius role. I'm not sure it's meant to happen, but it's working.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's
I think McGavin inevitably is going to play a bit more of a, we've said this word a lot of times, fluid, but he's going to be playing a lot of that in this second half. But because of the reduced numbers on the pitch for Yeovil, Finn Cousin-Dawson being sent off after just 10 minutes if you're joining us. Ollie Pearce giving the home side the lead, and then Tyree Sinclair doubling it just before half time. As Fagan Walcott comes up over the halfway line, down the right hand side, on the touchline it's Adjaboy. He plays it infield to Hunt. Hunt's shirt was definitely pulled back there by Greenslade. The referee didn't spot it, and now Yeovil will try and counter-attack. The ball threaded through. Josh Sims nowhere near the ball. Hunt's seen a lot of Josh Sims in this opening 17 minutes or so of the second half. It was always going to be a tough one for him, but haven't really seen him get involved that much.
He and Michael Smith changed the game on Saturday when they came on against Halifax, but I think Josh Sims is being asked to play a certain role, and that certain role.
Oh, a long ball played through, and now Pearce is racing into the penalty area. Slots it in off the post, and York have gone 3-0 up. Long ball played forward by Fagan Walcott. It split the Yeovil midfield. It split the Yeovil defence. Pearce ran straight through and tucked it beyond the goalkeeper Ollie Wright. After 63 minutes, York have made it 3-0 against Yeovil.
Yeah, the ball just gets stuck in the really, really wet pitch. Morgan Williams thinks the ball's in front of him. He turns, the ball's at Ollie Pearce's feet. Next thing you know, he's always going to score from there, Ollie Pearce. Great finish into the bottom right-hand corner, and it's York City 3, Yeovil Town 0. Yeovil Town have played really, really well this second half as well.
Mark Cooper is not happy down on the touchline. He's waving his arms around. He's very frustrated. But yeah, York City making it 3-0, and Ollie Pearce, who's been such a threat, getting his 13th goal of the season. 2 this afternoon. He's looked very menacing, and he's punished what has been a stretched Yeovil Town defence. As Yeovil get underway, Charlie Cooper, well, Marvin Armstrong stuck his boot in. Cooper got past him and then went down in stages afterwards. He's won the free kick as Cooper, and he's staying down. I think he does feel he was genuinely clipped by Armstrong, but it did look rather comical.
Yeah, it did look comical, and what was even more comical was watching Mark Cooper and Andy on the touchline there, Adam having a little bit of a discussion. A bit heated at times it was, but Mark Cooper's walked away as York City go top of the league.
So long ball played forward, headed away by Howe, out as far as Shaw. Shaw battling on the edge of the penalty area, trying to turn and keep possession. He's done well as Shaw. Now it falls to Sims inside the penalty area. The shot comes in, takes a deflection, and it goes wide. But Yeovil just showing a bit of promise there inside the York penalty area. It'll be a corner kick to Yeovil, and we're going to see Sonny Bluelow Everton come on very shortly.
Yeah, it's great work by Kofi Shaw once again, my man of the match so far today. He's been absolutely superb. He took on around 2 or 3 players there, and Sims found himself in some space, and it got deflected out from what is a dangerous Yeovil corner.
Yeah, a rare Yeovil corner as well. It's on the right hand side. It's angled in towards the edge of the penalty area, headed away by Akinyemi. It'll come out as far as Sims, who took that. And now Yeovil back in possession with Whittle just outside the centre circle. Left-footed ball out to the right hand side, looking for the run of Plant down the right hand side. It comes off McGavin, and McGavin does well to win a throw in, and we will see Sonny Bluelow Everton come on, and Charlie Cooper is going to be the man who comes off, so that you would imagine is a fairly straight swap in midfield.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. Charlie Cooper has been cooking the last couple of minutes, so he's already on the yellow card. Martin Cooper can't afford for any more suspensions here this afternoon, so rather than keep him on the pitch, Charlie Cooper gets withdrawn, and Sonny Bluelow Everton, he's had a little run in the spell of games for Yeovil. He's looked very assured and very good, and we'll see how this can impact the Yeovil team.
Yeah, 22-year-olds coming on as York win the ball back, and it's Akinyemi looking down the left-hand side, surging up towards the halfway line. Akinyemi's then penalised for fouling Plant. No, it's a throw-in actually. He just ran it out of play. It's a little hard to see over on the far side there, but yeah, it's a throw-in to Yeovil, about 5 yards up from the halfway line on their right, the far side as we look at it. 66.5 minutes gone, 3-0 York lead Yeovil. York here on BBC Radio Somerset, header by Don Bernard, but it's been won back by Pearce, who's had a fantastic game for York City, looking like one of the season already. We're only in November, but he's having a fine campaign in the National League. York are going to make a couple of changes now, as Luca Thomas will come on, and so will Ashley Nathaniel George. Now, plenty of changes happening.
Yep, it's all going on. York are having a little bit of a shuffle now, as we can see 2 substitutions just coming on. But yeah, you are right, Ollie Pearce, he was a standout player in the National League South last season. He's had his doubts. People have said, is he good enough for the National League? He's already proving that he's good enough. And yeah, it wasn't even a very good finish by him. It was scuffed into the ground, but it just went in. Everything that boy touches at the minute goes in.
So the 2 changes, Nathaniel Ashley George and Luca Thomas come on. Marvin Armstrong and Ricky Aguiar are the players to depart. So we'll see how that lands up. Luca Thomas, forward, who plays usually at Leeds. He's on loan for the next couple of weeks, or next few weeks for York City. He did score on debut against Ebbsfleet a couple of games ago as well. He's on loan until January, and as I say, Nathaniel Ashley George is the man who comes on as well, as Yeovil try to break forward, looking for a through ball, which Harvey Greenslade can't quite get onto the end of, and out comes the goalkeeper Miller to grab hold of the ball, and York can continue the counter-attack. All these substitutions, these 5 substitutions for every side, it makes it very difficult.
It does make it to catch up, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, we've got 20 minutes, so we've got 20 minutes after this game, and Yeovil Town this second half have given it a real good go. Harvey Greenslade up front has given them a real focal point. Kofi Shaw has been the standout performer, that's for sure. He's playing just in behind Harvey Greenslade. And Yeovil are winning the ball back. Yeovil are really going for this. They're winning it back with ease. It must be.
Yeah, you can't fault their efforts or the spirit in the second half, but when you're down to 10 men against one of the promotion contenders, one of the strongest sides in the division, it is very, very difficult, particularly when you have to do that for 80 minutes after Cousin Dawson's sending off. And like I say, we'll have to see what the knock-on effect of that is, because for the next 3 games there's 2 central defenders out suspended, with Jake Wonnell also missing today through suspension, so options limited. Well, next in action on Wednesday night at Hewish Park. Ian will be in action as well. He'll be on Mike at Hewish Park as Barnet make the latest on their set, and after that it's a trip to Woking, and then Weymouth visit Hewish Park in the FA Trophy. That's on the 7th of December. As the ball again threaded forwards, and now here's Adjaboy getting onto the end of it into the penalty area. Ball tipped back, the shot comes in from Pearce, and it's a good save by Wright. The rebound comes out to Swans Hunt. Ball cannons around inside the penalty area, comes off for Yeovil player, out for a corner kick.
Yeah, pinball in the Yeovil box there. Great save by Ollie Wright to deny Pearce's hat-trick. Yeah. And they're just throwing their bodies on the line. What I will say about the centre-backs, though, is that Don Bernard has come in and he's looked very, very assured playing alongside Morgan Williams.
Yeah, he has indeed, in difficult circumstances this afternoon. And he's had to slot in defence as Don Bernard, who was the signing, joined a few weeks ago. Previously played for Forest Green, of course. Walk with the corner then, over on the far side, 20 minutes to play. Whipped in, Pearce gets the header in. It's a great header by Pearce. He wraps up his hat-trick, and York City go 4-0 up. It was a corner on the far side. Pearce broke away from his man, and a great header from at least 12 yards out into the far corner, and it's York 4, Yeovil 0.
Yep, it's thoroughly deserved. It's a great hat-trick by Ollie Pearce. 70 minutes in. Yeah, away to the league leaders now. Yeovil Town always going to be up against it. But yeah, this is just rubbing salt into the wound now as the away end starts to clear out.
So, 19 minutes to go. Ollie Pearce, goal number 14 of the season. He was prolific in division below for Worthing last summer. Adam Hitchell brought him to the LNER last season, and he's continuing his excellent form, and a hat-trick this afternoon has torn apart Yeovil. Nuble is going to come on. I think that'll be Yeovil's final substitution. Nuble being brought on for Kofi Shaw, or of course on loan from Bristol City. He's just 17 years old. Frank Nuble making his entrance for the final 18-19 minutes or so. It's a thankless task, and the game, as expected, was pretty much over now.
Yeah, it's been the Ollie Pearce show. No doubt the National League Player of the Year so far, and York City are just showing here. Look, let's get under no illusion. Going away to York City any time in the season is a tricky ordeal. But going away to York City, being down to 10 men within 10 minutes, it makes it a near-on impossible task for Yeovil Town. But what I will say is that the Yeovil Town players have reacted superbly this second half, as superbly as they can do. Brett McGavern's playing a bit more forward. He's been superb. Kofi Shaw, who's just come off, played 17 minutes and he's worked his absolute socks off. No one can underestimate, no one can dare say that this Yeovil team don't work, because they do.
Ball played down the left-hand side, ball whipped across the edge of the Yeovil 6-yard box, and Yeovil managed to get it clear. It was Ashley George who was in there, and now here come Yeovil looking to counter-attack themselves through Plant. And Yeovil have managed to break clear. Now Everton looking to find Plant again, but he's played it in front of him. Alex Hunt comes across to win the ball back for York City, who are in total control this afternoon. York 4, Yeovil 0. A very difficult afternoon for the Covers here in Yorkshire.
It's been very difficult. It's sort of, the Yeovil mood sort of matches the weather. It's wet and windy. They cut their socks off, Yeovil. They've not given up, even though it's 4-0. They've had chances in this second half to get themselves back into the game, even when they were 2-0 down. So that will please Mark Cooper. What won't please Mark Cooper is the easiness that Ollie Pearce has got in, the easiness that Ollie Pearce has scored his hat-trick, especially the second and third goal.
Offside given against Akinyemi for York, so Yeovil do have a free kick over on the far side. A pace or two in from the right touchline. Ollie Wright racing across. He'll take this free kick. It's about 15 yards short of the halfway line. Left-footed, diagonal. Nubler using his strength. The header away by Felix though, and now Nubler has won it back. And the shot comes in by McGavin. Pretty speculative. 30 yards, more in hope than expectation, and it sails wide of the post and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, it was very spectacular. It wasn't never going in, let's be honest. And I think this is the first thing that I personally watched where all 10 substitutions are good news. It's a busy work for us.
It is keeping us busy. It is keeping us busy. 2 more changes for York. Dan Batty is going to come on, the midfielder. He's going to replace Ollie Pearce, who gets his moment to take the acclamation from the York fans. The hat-trick man today, Ollie Pearce. As I say, Dan Batty comes on. And also coming on is Ryan Fallowfield. He comes on in place of Malachi Fagan-Watson. So that's all 10 changes that have now been made. My notepad is pretty much full. So yeah, just confirmation there. Dan Batty coming on for Ollie Pearce and Ryan Fallowfield coming on for Malachi Fagan-Walcott. And I would imagine certainly the Fallowfield change will be a straight swap. And with Batty, he's more of a midfielder. I would imagine that means Akinyemi will continue up front. Possibly we'll see Nathaniel Ashley-George making his play in a bit more of an advanced role as well. So that could well be the shake-up from those changes.
Yes. I mean, this straight for this York City squad is scary. No wonder they're at the top of the table, and I'd fully expect them to be there for the rest of the season, let's be honest. Sometimes you just have to hold your hand up, and Ollie Pearce has been far too good for this Yeovil team this afternoon. Mark Cooper won't be too happy with the ease of his second and the third goal in particular, but sometimes when it's going your way, everything that you touch goes in, and that's what's happened here today.
You can hear the York fans.
Yeah.
They are properly bouncing at the moment. They're bouncing back from that defeat a week ago against Forest Green. Lost 2-0 at the New Lawn, but returning to form in emphatic fashion. Alas, at the expense of Yeovil Town. It'll be back-to-back defeats for Yeovil, following that loss against Halifax as well. So quite a challenge now, and particularly with a tough game coming up on Wednesday night against Barnet. Of how they pick themselves up from that, as Ashley George spins away from his man and breaks it forward for York City, looking for the run of Fallowfield, and he lays it on down the right hand side to Adjiboy. Adjiboy faced by Plant, and now here's Ashley George again. Ashley George trying the back heel. McGavin picks it up. He's slaloming through the defences, McGavin, and eventually strokes the pass out to Whittle. And Blulow Everton can bring it clear for York. Greenslade has it on the near touchline, but Adjiboy presses and wins it for York, and that's it. Adjiboy has managed to find his man inside the penalty area. The shot comes in, and it's well saved by Ollie Wright. The shot coming in there, I think, from Dan Batty, but Ollie Wright did very well. I think he saved with his face, to be honest. I think he's taking the full force of that with his face, unfortunately. So he's going to get treatment.
Yeah, that has gone straight into Ollie Wright's face. That was a great save, though, it does have to be said. If it wasn't for Ollie Wright here this afternoon, Yeovil Town would have been at least 6-0 down.
Yeah, it was the effort from Luca Thomas who got free inside the penalty area. The shot right towards goal, cannonading into the face of Wright. Looked incredibly painful. actually. He did very well, very brave to get down, make the block, but the ball has gone behind for a corner kick. So just a pause in play while Ollie Wright receives some treatment from the Yeovil physio team.
Yeah, we've got the away attendance as well. 348 people travelling up from Somerset. That was a fantastic effort. Now the focus after this game turns to Hewish Park on Wednesday, which is a really tricky game against Barnet. Again, Barnet are up there. The table doesn't lie. Yeovil Town are still flying high in the table, but Barnet, York, Forest Green, they will be the teams that will be up there. And sometimes you just have to admit that the better team have won here.
Yeah, very much so. Some of the other scores in the National League, just while we have this pause in place. So Forest Green, who started the day top, they are 2-2 away at Southend. Of course, Yeovil won at Southend a few weeks back. So that result means York, as it stands, are going top of the table on goal difference. Barnet, who we've mentioned, visit Hewish Park on Wednesday. They're 2-0 up against Woking. Woking, of course, Yeovil's next opponents on the road next Saturday. They travel to Woking to Yeovil. So yeah, Barnet leading there 2-0.
Yeah, this National League, Yeovil knew it last year, National League South champions, quite rightly so, and by quite a fair stretch. But stepping into this National League season, I'm sure every Yeovil fan up and down the country would have taken anything above anything from the relegation zone upwards. And it's been wonderful to see the football that Yeovil Town have done so far this season, even down to 10 man. Yeovil Town have still gone to their possession football. Yeovil Town have still stuck to the philosophy that they know. Mark Cooper has got a pretty good squad assembled here, and the good news looks to me like Ollie Wright has managed to get himself back up there. They're doing all the precautionary checks, but that was a great save.
Yeah, he has got back up to his feet. He did look a little bit groggy after, as I say, taking the full force of that shot from Luca Thomas in his face. He has now stood up and back on his feet, but yes, always plenty of checks, and rightly so as well, making sure that he is okay, and it looks like he will be able to continue. So we will have a few minutes added on there for that stoppage. We've reached the 80-minute mark. York 4, Yeovil 0. And it'll be York who'll get us back underway there. It actually went out for a throw-in on the far side, right down by the corner flag. It's taken by Felix, who then spins away from Greenslade. Ball into the 6-yard box. Bernard got a boot on it. In the shot from Thomas, whipped just wide of the far post behind for a goal kick.
Yep, goal kick to Yeovil Town, and I'd just like to highlight how good Ollie Wright has been this second half. If it wasn't for Ollie Wright, even he's conceded 2, and people at home will go, yeah, but he's conceded 2. He has conceded 2. He's also made 2 superb saves, fantastic saves that were destined to be goals. So without Ollie Wright, it could have easily been 5 or 6. Yeah, but he is destined for massive things, this goalie.
Yeah, Ollie Wright on loan from Southampton, 7 clean sheets this season as he clears the ball downfield, and Hunt was trying to drag down Frank Nubler. It's a fair effort to try and drag down Frank Nubler. He is a big unit, as they've got the ball on the right hand side to Yeovil. Bluelow Everton playing it all the way back to Wright on the edge of his own penalty area. 8.5 minutes to go. He plays a long ball forward. It's chested away by Fallowfield, and now onto Hunt on the halfway line, and Crooks brings it up into the oval half, and it's on to Akinyemi midway inside the oval half. He drifts infield into a more central position now. Hunt again, putting it back to Fallowfield, and he strokes it on the way back to the goalkeeper, and York will continue to build from the back.
Yeah, they will. They're in complete control, but Yeovil Town working hard, trying to find a little way to get the ball back and regain possession, but it's too easy for York City now. I'm not surprised. Yeovil Town have been down to 10 men for such a long time now, so there must be some very, very tired legs and bodies out there.
Foul conceded by Bernard, just bringing down Ashley George inside the centre circle, as the ball now goes out to play on the far side for a York City throw-in. The home fans incredibly excited and delighted at how York City are performing. as Fallowfield plays a long ball out to the right hand side, looking for Ajiboye, who made the run, but Whittle did well to use his strength to block off Ajiboye, and the ball run out to play for a goal kick to Yeovil.
Yeah, no wonder this place is bouncing. Well, it was until I spoke. These York City fans are excited. They've had investment, they've had backing, and you can see just by the strength and depth. And I mean, Ollie Pearce, what a player, what an absolute player. And if they're not up there or thereabouts at the end of the season, then something has gone drastically wrong here at York.
Goal kick by Rice, cleared downfield, and it's well cut out by Callum Howard's managed to find Akinyemi out on the left hand side. He burst past Plant, a tired looking challenge from Plant. Akinyemi still going, slaloming past a couple of Yeovil defenders. Plant recovered to make the block, and then he clears it out of play. It'll be a throw in to York over on the far side, their left, 10 yards up from the corner flag. But good recovery from Plant, but Akinyemi showing his class there to break through and cause more problems.
Yeah, great speed by Akinyemi. Only one thing on his mind, he wants to go for that goal. Everyone wants to get on the goal sheet now. But yeah, great recovery by James Plant as well. I think he's also had a superb afternoon. James Plant, Kofi Shaw, even Brett McGavin, they've done really well. Let's not put any doubt about this. This has been a tricky day for Yeovil Town at the office. Best way is for them to dust themselves off, which I know they will. It's going to be a long old journey back, but they'll dust themselves off. And who's up next? Barnet at home.
6 minutes to go. York 4, Yeovil 0. BBC Radio Somerset 95.5 FM, BBC Sounds and Freeview Channel 714. Thank you for joining myself, Chris Sykes, and Ian Welch here in Yorkshire this afternoon, bringing you commentary on this game, which isn't going to end the way Yeovil wanted it. And York continue to build possession with Fallowfield on the right hand side, lots of space. He plays it out to the right touchline, and Ajiboye drifting in field now. Good pace being shown by Ajiboye there. He tries to find a York man, but he's given it away to Newblay, and then fouls Newblay in the process, and there'll be a free kick to Yeovil midway inside their own half. What did you make of the decision not to start Frank Newblay today?
I think it was the right thing. I think it was the right thing coming away to the now league leaders York City. Frank Newblay, he's had an impact since coming on. He's caused a few problems for the referee, and Yeovil have now got a more focal point. Harvey Greenslade's gone on the right hand side, and Frank Newblay's just couldn't create problems. But yeah, I think it was the right decision. Like Mark Cooper's already said, some players will start here, some players will start on Wednesday, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see him start on Wednesday.
That's very much the case, with a busy Christmas schedule in mind as well.
Yeah.
They'll be looking to manage the minutes over the coming weeks. York continue with possession. It's Fallowfield. He plays it up over the halfway line onto Alex Hunt, and now on the edge of the centre circle it's Batty standing, pausing. He's faced by Newblay, but not really been put under any pressure, not being pressed, and plays it on to Hunt, who's got some space in the centre circle now. On to Felix, left-footed pass out to the right-hand side, and Ajiboye, a little bit of room to try and attack Alex Whittle. Instead plays it infield onto again. Switch ball is behind Akinyemi. He has to check and try and slow down to control the ball. He does so, but he's been put under pressure by Josh Sims. Sims battling with Akinyemi, and Akinyemi emerges on top. He's won a throw in by Josh Sims, but good terrier-like quality he's been put on there by Sims.
Yeah, very good by Josh Sims. He's being asked to do a different role to what he did when he came on against Halifax at Hughes Park. He's very much been asked to play a defensive role in this Yeovil team, which does not come naturally to him. You know how much of a great forward player, thinking player he is. He's done a good job in there this afternoon, Josh Sims. Very, very good job.
3.5 minutes to go. Still York 4, Yeovil 0. York with the ball on the halfway line. Callum Howe, the captain, just turning and twisting and looking for the options, and eventually using Fallowfield. And now the ball comes out to the right hand side, and Ajiboye looking to try and burst past Whittle. Good sprinting play by Ajiboye. Ajiboye whipping it, and it's blocked on the edge of the 6-yard box by Williams, and he'll go out of play on the side, out for a throw in, I think, to York City.
Yeah, it's gone out for a throw, and Ajiboye this time proving how much pace he's still got. He's played 87 minutes and he's still ripping it down that left-hand side. Yeah, this York City team, no matter where you look, they're so dangerous. And you'd expect them to be up there, that's for sure.
York continuing to build, and they've got it on the edge of the area. Thomas onto Adjaboy, and now the ball comes back to Batty in the middle of the Yeovil half. He plays it across the central position, now out to the left touchline in Akinyemi. Akinyemi's been put under pressure though by Plant, and he has to go back to the halfway line. Yeovil continuing to show effort, show some discipline as they try and see out in the last few minutes. Ball let forward, and now Thomas is in. Thomas trying to get on his man. Ollie Wright came out though, and he did very well there. Ollie Wright just to stand discipline, block off Luca Thomas and gather up the balls, smothering that effort. And it, again, more impressive play from Ollie Wright.
Great work by Ollie Wright. He's always a coming off the line sort of Tommy, which is why Mark Cooper wanted him at a huge part. But this time he came off his line and he just stood big, stood firm and said, come on then, how are you going to get paid? And the answer was they weren't. It was a great save. Could have easily been
Harvey Greenslade battling on the edge of the York penalty area with Felix. The ball's gone back to the York goalkeeper though, as it's threaded forwards, and then that was a pretty ugly looking challenge by Dom Bernard on Ashley George. Bernard did just go right through. York players are now starting to surround the referee. I think there should be some action awarded here against Dom Bernard. It wasn't a particularly brilliant challenge. I haven't seen a card as yet, although Oliver Mackey is now calling Dom Bernard over, and we will see what happens here.
I wouldn't like to call this one.
No, Ashley George is staying down, and it's another red card. It's a second red card of the afternoon. Dom Bernard sent off there for what looked to be a reckless challenge on Ashley George. And Yeovil's problems get even worse. Their defensive problems get even worse. 2 defenders sent off this afternoon, and that's in addition to the Judge Cornell suspension. They've got horrendous issues in defence now, and that is the most frustrating of all, because it comes right at the end. You're 4-0 down. He doesn't even really need to make that challenge.
Oh, dearie me. What are Yeovil Town doing here? This time Dom Bernard's lost his head in the centre of the pitch. I'm not sure what he's doing. I'm not sure. It was a tricky one for us to see over here, Chris, but I think you described it perfectly. Yeovil down to 9, and they've lost 2 centre-backs in one afternoon, both through red cards. I mean, could this day have got any worse for Yeovil Town?
Yeah, it's been a pretty horrendous afternoon, really, in the grand scheme of things. You can't fault the efforts most of Yeovil's players have shown, but in terms of everything that's happened, it's been pretty disastrous for Yeovil, and the knock-on will last for the next few weeks, because, as I say, they're going to be showing several defenders. 6 minutes to be added on. Mark Cooper is just speaking with the 4th official just down on the touchline, a little shot to their head, speaking to Ben Tomlinson, the 4th official. He looks disconsolate down there, he looks fed up for what's been a tough afternoon. We'll bring you some reaction from Mark Cooper.
Yeah, I don't know where the 4th official's got 6 minutes from. I know we've had substitutions, and I know we've had a red card.
We've had a lot of substitutions, the red cards, and obviously the injury to Wright as well. So
yeah, maybe I just want to go home.
I think a lot of people do at this stage, particularly if you're associated with the green of Yeovil. But we play on. 5 minutes of stoppage time to go. Ashley George is back on his feet, and we're back underway. It's with Adjaboy. Yeovil down to 9 men.
Harvey Greenslade playing as a left back now, and Whittle and Williams in the middle, and Pearce playing as a right back, with Sims playing as like a right winger.
Yeah, they've had to. Yeah, this is what you would describe as being makeshift, I think.
I agree with that, bearing in mind Harvey Greenslade's a striker.
Yes, indeed. Yeovil in possession. It's Blue Everton who's got it. He turns inside his own half, central position, onto Williams, and now Whittle and York. Look at the pressing here. Just look how eager they are to try and win the ball. Felix jumping in there, fouling Greenslade. There was just such an energy about York there. We're into the 92nd minute and they were swarming all over Yeovil.
Yeah, the eagerness is there. You can see the eagerness. They want to get more York City here. And if it wasn't for the scoreline would have been a lot more. It does have to be said here this afternoon. Alex Whittle, Morgan Williams, James Plan, Josh Sims, Sonny Blue Everton, Brett McGavin, Greenslade, Frank Newblay. You've worked yourself off this afternoon, but unfortunately 2 of your teammates have let you down, I'm afraid, and it started with Finn Cousin-Dawson letting the team down within 10 minutes. It was such a silly red card.
Free kick played forwards, but York have won it back and they send the ball downfield. Whittle let it run on and he jumped in there on Thomas. It was a 50-50, but he was stretching, and the last thing they needed is Alex Whittle. Anything happening to him, that's really not what they needed. 3 minutes to go. In the centre circle, it's with Batty for York. Inside his own half, he now plays it to the right-hand side as Felix strides into the Yeovil half, and now Fallowfield. Adjiboy's calling for it. Instead, they turn around and they play it back. We're just playing out time here in the final 6 minutes of stoppage time. It comes out to Akinyemi on the left-hand side. Now he tries to burst into the penalty area, whips it across the 6-yard box, and at the back post, I think Whittle had to turn it behind for a corner because Adjiboy was lurking.
Yep, he was lurking, and so was goal number 5 for York City there. Yeovil did very well. Good defending by Alex Whittle, playing as a centre-back now. He's a man of many talents, is Alex Whittle, that is for sure.
So it's a corner on the near side, the York right, which Hunt will take. He's got Batty right next to him, but he arrows it in towards the back post, and there comes the head from Callum Howe, arriving late, just got to direct it towards goal, and it goes behind for a goal kick to Yeovil, but York still pushing, even at 4-0 up with 2 minutes of stoppage time to play.
Yep, I mean, you can't fault this Yeovil team effort. You can't fault these players that have turned up in their green and white shirt here this afternoon. But it was always going to be a hard task for Yeovil. Always coming away to York City. They'll be glad to get this one ticked off the calendar, and they'll be glad to play Barnet on Wednesday night at Hewish Park. It's going to be these suspensions, though. These suspensions they're piling up. And there's not a lot of time for Mark Cooper to do anything about it.
That's the thing, if you've got multiple 3-game suspensions as well, that causes a real problem, because then you miss it. You've got missing Barnet, you've got the game at Woking, and then obviously the FA Trophy, well, if it applies there. So there's a lot of games that these players are missing, and you've got to fill the holes in those matches. York in possession. They have it over on the far side. Infield to Ashley George, who's trying to weave his way through the centre of the Yeovil midfield. Low Everton did very well there, and he's still surging forward, fouled by Crooks, and Sonny Blue Low Everton. The part of the issue there was he was in possession, worked forward, put his head up, and there was no one ahead of him because obviously everyone's behind him. Anyway, long ball played forward, looking for the run of Josh Sims, but out comes Mill to gather the ball on the edge of the penalty area. He flops on it, and we've got less than a minute to go.
Technically, very, very good player, Sonny Blue, and I'm pleased he's getting a place in the team as the York City fans all stand up and applaud their team for their effort here this afternoon. Ollie Wright's been fantastic. Kofi Shaw's had a great game. They've been let down by Finn Cousin-Dawson in particular, and Don Bernard certainly hasn't helped.
So York just playing out the final seconds of this one. Adjiboy has it for them, trying to play it infield. Takes a little deflection off Green's head, but York maintain possession. Here's Hunt inside the centre circle, turning on to Batty, and now right pass out to the right hand side, and Fallowfield. Adjiboy has a little bit of room on the touch line. Fallowfield gone surging up ahead of him and gets the ball back. Well, really got the ball back. The ball's played into Felix, pass beyond him, out of play, and that is the end of the match. York 4, Yeovil 0. How it finishes here in Yorkshire this afternoon. Really difficult afternoon for Yeovil Town. It was made difficult on 10 minutes when Finn Cousin-Dawson was sent off for dragging down Tyree Sinclair. Ollie Pearce scored from the resulting free kick. Sinclair then scoring, and the mistake from Ollie Wright in the Yeovil goal. That was the key moment, really. That was the moment where the game was gone. And then it was the Ollie Pearce show in the second half. 2 goals for him after half time, and further misery for Yeovil with Don Bernard being sent off. So that gives Yeovil real headaches in terms of defenders they're able to field in the coming matches. But Ian Welsh, a really tough afternoon today.
Yeah, tough afternoon to watch for if you're a Yeovil Town fan, that's for sure. There are some positives. Ollie Wright's had a great game. Kofi Shaw's had a good game. All in all, Yeovil Town can be pleased with their performance, but they've been let down by some of their players. Been a pleasure to be alongside you, Chris.
It has indeed, yes, thank you very much, Ian. So Ian, like I say, will be on duty at Hewish Park on Wednesday night as Barnet make the visit to Somerset. But full time here, it's finished York City 4, Yeovil 0.
Ayet against Bristol, but 2 tries this afternoon.
Yeah, he's been a real slow burner this season. I think in the opening block of Premiership games he was probably not at his sharpest or his fittest. And that was reflected by the fact that often he was taken off after 50 minutes. But this Premiership Cup run has given him a chance to get more games under his belt, get back to that powerful bullocking carrier that Bath rugby fans came to know last season, and he definitely looked a lot sharper, especially in the second half, crossing for those 2 tries today.
How did Regan Grace get on today?
Well, I was saying during commentary, I felt a little bit sorry for him today. It wasn't really the type of conditions for a winger, especially in the second half when the rain started to pelt down and it got a little bit windier. We only saw a couple of glimpses of what he can do. When he did get the ball, he looked like he had fast feet and he was a bit of a handful, but unfortunately for him, he was taken off before he could make a real impact. But I'm sure later on in the season, when he gets another opportunity, he'll have a bit more ball and a bit more of a chance to show what he can do.
And now business resumes in the Premiership. Exeter at the Rec next weekend.
It does. Exeter at the Rec, and if Bath can get that win under the belt, they can stay top of the table going into those really exciting Champions Cup fixtures. And I think the way Johan van Graan has used his squad this season, the best news for Bath is that, you know, a lot of their top players, the ones that aren't on international duty, they'll be fresh next week. They'll be ready to fire, having had a month off, and I fully expect them to continue their winning ways in the Premiership.
Dan, it's good to have your company. We'll speak soon.
My pleasure, very much.
Dan Evans at Goldington Road. Dan Albert will get us some post-match reaction between now and 6 o'clock. This is Saturday Sport on BBC Radio Bristol and BBC Radio Somerset. Some late goals in National League South. The bad news is that Bath City have conceded in stoppage time. Eastbourne Borough 1, Bath City 0 is the latest score. Nick McCootie's just scored for Weston-super-Mare. They were trailing 3-2. A latest score, Weston-super-Mare 4, Farnborough 3. An incredible game this afternoon for Weston in the Premier League. The 3 o'clock kickoffs. Bournemouth 1, Brighton 2 is a result this afternoon. And Brighton down to 10 men, winning 3 points this afternoon. Arsenal, a comfortable 3-0 victory against Nottingham Forest at the Emirates. At Villa Park, Aston Villa coming from behind to earn a draw. Aston Villa 2, Crystal Palace 2 is a full-time result. Also a draw at Goodison Park this afternoon. Everton 0, Brentford 0, while Fulham have lost at home to Wolves by 4-1.
Saturday Sport.
BBC Radio Bristol and BBC Radio Somerset.
Taking your calls between now and 6 o'clock. 08000 855 949 is our phone number. 81333 on text. Start your message with the word Bristol. On social media at BBC Bristol Sport. Today's headlines: 3 points for Bristol Rovers, just their second away win of the season. Luke McCormick's goal is the winner. Mansfield had a goal disallowed in stoppage time.
Luke McCormick once again, and he could be involved here as Chris Martin picks up. No, it's played through to Hutchinson towards the back, turned in by McCormick. Bristol Rovers have got the lead, and it is Luke McCormick who's been instrumental in those attacking moments, who arrives at the back post to tap in from a couple of yards. And Rovers lead here in the East Midlands. Mansfield 0, Bristol Rovers 1. It's alive here for Evans. He's left of the box. Time for one more cross. It's a good looking cross. It's floated towards goal. It's back into the middle and it's in. Oh no. It's not given. It's disallowed. Rovers have survived. The referee's blown the whistle for a foul. The ball is in the net, but it's not going to count. It's not going to count.
At lunchtime, City lost 1-0 at home to Burnley. Could have had a penalty in the second half. In the end, Jayden Anthony's first half goal, the difference.
That ball through and it's onside, and Max Bird is in, but he's wide, waiting for support to come and join him. Tries to pick out his player. Oh, it's blocked wide. It's Mehmeti. It wasn't going to get past him, but he's been done on that one, and Koleosho has got past him, lays it back towards Brownhill. Shot gets deflected, it's saved, but then into the back of the net from Jayden Anthony. Oh, it's well finished, but it was a scrappy one, and it's Burnley who take the lead. 23 minutes played, City 0, Burnley 1.
In the National League, a heavy defeat for Yeovil Town. They've lost 4-0 at York. Ollie Pearce getting a hat-trick. Yeovil had Finn Cousin-Dawson sent off early on.
Still inside their own half. In Cousin-Dawson. Dawson's been caught on it. He then drags his man down. Now we'll have to see what the referee does here. And he has been sent off. And disaster for Yeovil. 9 minutes in, they've been reduced to 10 men. Really dangerous moment for Yeovil. It'll be taken by Pearce, who bends it low, and it's into the bottom corner. And Ollie Pearce has scored for York City. They're breaking forward. It's Sinclair. Sinclair gets the shot away. Oh, it's Ollie Wright. He spilled it into the back of the net. Tyree Sinclair with a rather tame effort, to be honest. It was straight at Ollie Wright. Oh, a long ball played through, and now Pearce is racing into the penalty area. Slots it in off the post, and York have gone 3-0 up. Pearce gets the header in. It's a great header by Pearce. He wraps up his hat-trick, and York City go 4-0 up. It was a corner on the far side. Pearce broke away from his man, and it's York 4, Yeovil 0.